providential goodness has appointed offices of rulers and councils for the welfare of society and the just government of man. We beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of such important trusts in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this Parliament assembled, and grant that we may, as in thy presence, treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote thy honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge, all which we ask in the name and for the sake of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. House resumes and debate continues. Yes, Honorable Grant, I recognize you. I see you looking like you're in good spirits, so you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present on this year's budget estimates under the theme Balancing Resilient Development and Fiscal Discipline for Sustainable Growth. Mr. Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity as well to thank the Honorable Dr. Reuben McIntyre, the Honorable Minister for Finance, for another excellent presentation in his delivery of this year's budget. I'd also like to express congratulations to the Honorable Prime Minister, my cabinet colleagues, the Financial Secretary, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, in the Office of the Prime Minister, the Cabinet Secretary, other senior public servants, members of the private sector who came together in the preparation of this budget. Mr. Speaker, the measures that are set out in this budget embody sustainability, innovation, and inclusivity. No doubt this budget is designed to make the life of every Dominican today and for future generations better. As we look at the global economic trends, Mr. Speaker, we see that there are challenges. In April 2025, the IMF reported a slow growth for the United States economy, one of the most advanced economies in the world, Mr. Speaker. It grew only 1.8%, a decrease from what was previously projected. Mr. Speaker, please allow me to quote from an article, a publication, April 2025, from the IMF entitled, "The Latest World Economic Outlook, A Critical Juncture and Policy Shifts." This publication reports a slowdown in global growth as downside risk intensify. Open quotes. Policy shifts unfold and uncertainty reach new heights. Policies need to be calibrated to rebalance growth, inflation, trade-offs, rebuild buffers, reinvigorate medium-term growth, thereby reducing both internal and external imbalances. Policies that promote healthy aging, bridge gender disparities, and enhance the alignment of migrant skills with local labor demands. These can play a critical role in countering slow economic growth and fiscal pressures, especially when coupled with infrastructure investment. End of quote. Mr. Speaker, we hear this individual who goes about wearing his employment with the IMF as a badge of honor is saying something totally different from what we see in this report. What the IMF is telling us, Mr. Speaker, is growth has declined after a period of steady but underwhelming performance. Mr. Speaker, I submit that the measures presented in this fiscal year are practical solutions to provide a buffer and reinvigorate not only medium but long-term growth for our economy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Public Works, Public Utilities, and the Digital Economy, led by myself and Honorable Lockhart Hippolyte, we constantly face challenges by adverse weather events. In the past decade, Mr. Speaker, drought, dry season, and unusual heavy rainfall has caused this government millions in rehabilitation of roads, construction of river walls, and other measures have become necessary to safeguard our citizens. Another challenge, Mr. Speaker, which we have at this time is the increase in the number and the weight of vehicles that are on our roads. And this is because of all the major infrastructure projects that are going on across the island at this time. We have the hotels, the schools, housing, the marina, geothermal. We have a lot of heavy equipment, Mr. Speaker, transporting a lot of material across the island. And road rehabilitation has become not only more costly, but we have to do it a lot more frequently, Mr. Speaker. The introduction of the highway levy is set to provide a cushion for this government, Mr. Speaker. When introduced in 2015-2016, up until the time it was repealed, we were able to raise $10.2 million. 3.1 of which was used to rehabilitate Charles Avenue, Mr. Speaker, and I think every Dominican can attest this is a lovely piece of road that is in still excellent condition. The other 7.3 million, Mr. Speaker, which was raised, which is just a fraction of the cost that we have spent over the years in providing road rehabilitation and road maintenance to ensure that we give a smooth ride to our citizens. Mr. Speaker, based on what we have demonstrated in the use of this levy over the last several years, I believe that every citizen can agree that it is necessary for us to reinstate this levy at this time. Mr. Speaker, the long-awaited Granby Road is under construction. This is at a grant of $117 million. And Mr. Speaker, it's more than just asphalt and bridges. It's providing a smooth ride to the residents of the South, reducing travel time and reducing on the maintenance of their vehicles. The road rehabilitation, Mr. Speaker, for the persons who are in the South, the bay oil producers, the fishermen of Stowe, the farmers of Tetmon, the bus drivers, Mr. Speaker, they can all attest that this road, when complete, would provide a smoother ride to not just them as drivers, Mr. Speaker, but to their passengers as well. As we can see, Mr. Speaker, it is now a national event. Breakfast fed by Asa Bantan continues to grow from year to year. The establishment of a vibrant village accommodation sector is growing in the South, Mr. Speaker. As we prepare for today's activity, Mr. Speaker, I pause for a bit because I remembered affectionately known as Comrade Ed, Mr. Speaker. The Granby Road is something that he spoke passionately in this house about, Mr. Speaker, as well as cannabis, of course. But the Granby Road is something that resonates with all of us when we travel south, Mr. Speaker, and we remember Comrade Ed. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister for Finance and this government are relentless in pursuing the ambition of providing safe and resilient, durable roads for all Dominicans. We are completing the East Coast Road project from Bois Diab to Hatton Garden through Cassie Bruce and the Kalinago territory at a cost of $227 million. The last component of this project is the Hatton Garden Bridge, and that will now be a two-lane bridge for persons who traverse this road, Mr. Speaker. We are moving from a one-lane to a two-lane bridge. That bridge is almost complete, and we should see completion at the end of October this year. But like I said, Mr. Speaker, it's more than asphalt, it's more than bridges. We have seen a lot more visitors to the Cassie Bruce and Kalinago territory. We have also seen increased economic activity for our vendors, our cassava producers, our craft vendors, and a number of persons within the Karoo territory, the Carnago territory, and Cassie groups can attest to this, Mr. Speaker. Within the ministry, we continue with our efforts to maintain our roads. Mr. Speaker, in the last fiscal year, we spent just over $8 million on edge failures, and that would include retaining walls at Bells, Beosh, Penrise, Layo, Salisbury, St. Joseph, to stabilize the slopes and reduce and prevent erosion on our major highways, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we in the ministry, we hear the cry of the persons in the north and the northeast as it relates to the Hatton Garden, to Blenheim, and to some extent Portsmouth. The members for parliament in the areas constantly remind us that we need to do work. I would like to at this time assure the users of that road that in the coming weeks we'll be doing some maintenance on that road to reduce on their plight. But Mr. Speaker, we do recognize as part of the larger plan for this government, we'll be rehabilitating this road from Hatton Garden to Borough Square in Portsmouth, and this will be done in 3 phases. And I can tell you that the ministry have begun work. We are in constant discussions with the People's Republic of China, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to thank them for partnering with us on this road. Mr. Speaker, the digital economy is an over $75 million investment this government is making in this country. And one of the flagship programs of this project is the Health Management Information System at a cost of just over $15 million. As we speak, we will be testing the system in the coming weeks, Mr. Speaker, and by all accounts, we are ready to roll. However, before we can go with full implementation, it's important to reassure the public that the relevant laws will be put in place to safeguard patient data, as well as we will be carrying out consultation across the various health districts to ensure that persons have a full understanding as to what the system is about and how the information is going to be handled. So rest assured, Mr. Speaker, the public will be informed and the public will be confident that this system will change the way we do healthcare in Dominica. Within the program, as we speak, we currently have our summer program where we are training a number of young persons in a number of areas, website design, coding, so that in the future, Mr. Speaker, our children will have the necessary skills to survive in this ever-changing digital world, Mr. Speaker. We also have a number of programs for our adults. We also do our senior citizens, they are not forgotten. But, Mr. Speaker, it's important to highlight that the programs that we run are up to certification level, and certification that is recognized not just within the region, but worldwide. And we have over 100 Dominicans who have signed up, and some of which have passed their certification and received their certificates. And I'm encouraging all the young people who have an interest in technology and digital economy, Mr. Speaker, to reach out to us because we have a number of certification programs running at this time. Mr. Speaker, the ease of doing business with the government is getting better, and I must commend the staff of the ICT and the digital economy. We successfully launched e-services, Mr. Speaker, and from all reports, this is working well, and a number of Dominicans are using the system, and they are pleased with it. We have a few modifications and improvements to make, but in all, Mr. Speaker, the system is working, and persons are pleased with its implementation. Mr. Speaker, we heard from the Honorable Minister of Finance that we disbursed just over $1 million last year in digital grants. We have followed up with a number of these businesses, and they are doing well, Mr. Speaker. Their products are online. They have increased in terms of their sales because of their presence online. A number of their processes have improved in terms of their accounting. So we commend them, and we continue to work with them. So, Mr. Speaker, we don't just give you a grant and leave you. We follow up with you. Wherever you are, whichever part of the country you are located, we visit you, and ensure that you are making the best use of the monies that you receive. Mr. Speaker, in this fiscal year, we'll be making improvements to the civil registry, our birth certificate, marriage certificates, and death certificate. This is all part of the digital economy, and that would be the next phase of the project. Mr. Speaker, Portsmouth is a town, Roseau is the capital city, but Mr. Speaker, Wesley has become the heartbeat of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. The largest infrastructure project in the history of Dominica, Mr. Speaker, is being done in the Wesley constituency. And we can report, Mr. Speaker, as we heard from the Honorable Minister of Finance, it is 40% complete and ahead of schedule. Mr. Speaker, a number of persons are wondering, but I didn't see anything specific to the international airport within the budget. Mr. Speaker, if you look under the office of the Prime Minister, we will see over $300 million allocated to all major projects. Mr. Speaker, like I have done in the past, at every opportunity that I have received, I would like to express a heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the people of Wesley for what they are doing for this country. Mr. Speaker, it was not easy. We met persons, the Honorable Prime Minister and myself, the negotiators. We met persons at his office. We met persons on site. We met persons at his official residence. We met persons in their living rooms, all to assure them that they will be taken care of, and which we did. Mr. Speaker, the opposition, the ones inside of the House and outside, is the same thing, Mr. Speaker. They are now saying that they will review the deal that the people of Wesley received when they get office. I'm not too sure what time. I'm not too sure. It's the same thing. You inside, you outside. You're part of the own man? Oh, no. So what about the other partner with you in there? You come. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. They want to review, Mr. Speaker, every individual who have given up their home, given up the agricultural land or a piece of land have been fairly compensated, and in some cases more have been given to the residents, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, several groups, Mr. Speaker, have appeared over the years since the construction of this international airport. Several of them have decided to sow discord, to discourage the people, to protest, Mr. Speaker, and I must note, since the construction of this international airport, that we had zero violence in Wesley, zero demonstration against this project. This is testament to the leadership of this administration, Mr. Speaker, but more importantly, the support of the Wesley people behind this administration and this project, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, over $45 million have been paid to over 235 property owners. If you drive in the Joe Burton area, Mr. Speaker, you will see the resilient homes that the government built. And just above that, Mr. Speaker, you would see the resilient home that Wesley residents decided that they wanted to build for themselves, so that they have built their homes, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, if you have been up there, you will see the size of these houses, Mr. Speaker. It's a beautiful neighborhood, Mr. Speaker. You see the sea, you see the moonlight, Mr. Speaker. I think in all fairness, Mr. Speaker, and I'm not saying so just as parliamentary representative, but the Wesley people were treated fairly, Mr. Speaker, and they can continue to live comfortable lifestyles and live in dignity, and know that this Labour Party administration always have their back, Mr. Speaker. And as long as I am part of the Wesley constituency, I will ensure that the Wesley people are treated fairly at all times. Mr. Speaker, on the airport project itself, we have over 60 young people working. And if you pass through the community of Wesley, Mr. Speaker, if you see anybody on the side of the road, they either work the night shift, Mr. Speaker, so they pull up in the day, or they just refuse to work. But everybody that wants to work within the Wesley constituency, Mr. Speaker, is working. And we often complain about minimum wage, Mr. Speaker. Most of these young men are working for salaries in excess of $3,000 on a monthly basis, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, they work 6 days and in some cases 7 days a week by choice. Everyone is allowed to. 5 days they are saying, boss man, I'm making overtime. So Saturday I in work, Sunday I in work. And that is the level of discipline that we see amongst our young people in Wesley, Mr. Speaker, and they must be commended for that. Mr. Speaker, the security firm that is protecting this investment is owned by one of my constituents, Mr. Speaker. Most of the individuals, maybe 90% of the persons who are providing security are from the constituency of Wesley. So very often you hear persons saying that Wesley people are not benefiting outside of the homeowners, Mr. Speaker. There are no properties for rent in the Wesley constituency, and this is because we have a number of persons who have come in from Cuba who are renting. So, Mr. Speaker, you hear persons say, I'm against the airport, but the house renting for the Cubans. And the Cubans are working on the international airport. So, Mr. Speaker, whether you're for the airport or you're against the airport, you are getting a benefit directly or indirectly from its construction. Mr. Speaker, in a few weeks' time, we'll start construction of the tunnel. And as per Mr. Speaker, my discussions with the Prime Minister, the route through the village will remain uninterrupted, Mr. Speaker. So that is why that we are doing a tunnel. So whenever you're going to the airport, you must pass through Woodford Hill and you must pass through Wesley. There is no bypass. That is the main route, and that is why we'll be constructing a tunnel. And within the next few weeks, the tunnel should start construction, along with the terminal, Mr. Speaker. That has started. I have visited. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what else a person will require to confirm that an international airport is being built. We should see the full length of the runway by the end of December 2025. Mr. Speaker, Wesley Woodford Hill is a farming community, and I must say I'm pleased with the measure $4 a square foot. This is something that I believe our young people who are not interested in skilled or the formal work setting can take advantage of, Mr. Speaker. What this government has done with this new measure, we have provided persons with land. We have provided you with concessionary financing. We have provided you with concessions in terms of the imports, not just the FAs, Mr. Speaker, but the various imports that are tax exempt in terms of VAT. We have provided you with technical assistance. We have a newly refurbished agriculture station at Londonderry that's providing support to the farmers of the Northeast. And we have provided you with planting material. So we have done a holistic approach, Mr. Speaker, into providing support. Mr. Speaker, this does not include the cash grants and all the monies that farmers are receiving, all the livestock pen, Mr. Speaker. This is just for the individuals who are interested in going into farming. Mr. Speaker, the Northeast has the most or the largest infrastructure in terms of agriculture, Mr. Speaker. We have the new citrus facility that is coming on stream under construction, $7.5 million, Mr. Speaker. The recently rehabilitated livestock farm, Mr. Speaker, the fisheries complex which was rehabilitated a while ago. In the north, you have the science complex that are providing quality seedlings. So, Mr. Speaker, if you are in that region and you're interested in farming, you can be a very productive farmer because the environment has been provided for you to succeed. Mr. Speaker, there are a number of opportunities for our young people. And it is important that we stress on this because very often our young people are used as a political football in terms of there's nothing going on for them. Mr. Speaker, in the budget, we have this 2% loan, Mr. Speaker, and I'm hoping to see a number of our young people sign up so that they are the ones that have become the air condition technicians, the groundsmen, the electricians, the welders, the airline agents. All of these jobs, Mr. Speaker, are going to be there for our young people, not just within Wesley, but outside. And I think sometimes we, as a government, we have done so much good and we have changed the lives of so many young people, we forget how it was before. Mr. Speaker, in 2003, my student loan at $95,000 was 10%. And Mr. Speaker, while you're studying, you have to pay the interest. And now we're getting 2%. So, Mr. Speaker, that was for the first degree. Now, when you come back and you start working, everybody that give you $5, Mr. Speaker, while you're out, you have to pay them back. So, you have to get a second loan, Mr. Speaker. So I had a first loan and a second loan to clear, you know, the little relatives that everybody wanted to give you something. Mr. Speaker, you're big man now, you're working, you have to ensure that you pay them back. But Mr. Speaker, for the second degree, when you're working, you have a mortgage, it is difficult. But the banks at that time were a little bit flexible. So I had a line of credit, Mr. Speaker, for my master's at 20%. And that was the cost of studying 10 years ago, Mr. Speaker. And today, we're talking about 2%. 2%, Mr. Speaker. So we have a drop from 10 to 2, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, that doesn't include the other measures where we paid off 40% for persons who had returned to Dominica and making their contribution. That doesn't include the financial assistance that we have given to a number of students for first degrees, second degrees, and even the masters, Mr. Speaker, and PhD level. So, in terms of education, Mr. Speaker, this government continues to contribute, and I urge our young people to take advantage of this. As for us, persons within my age group, Mr. Speaker, it wasn't as easy as it is today. And it's important that we highlight this because 2%, Mr. Speaker, by all means, it looks like I'll have to go back to school because that's a good rate, Mr. Speaker, compared to what we had 10 and 15 years ago. Mr. Speaker, I must commend the Ministry of Housing and the Honorable Minister for Finance for the Opportunity Knock 2% housing program. For those of us who have built, Mr. Speaker, the same thing applies. 10, 15 years ago, for those of us who had a home, the mortgage was 7 and 8%. Now we are offering 2% to public servants, Mr. Speaker, and I think this must be commended because in the last 5 years, Mr. Speaker, I have seen a number of public servants come out of my constituency. We had about 8 police officers, 3 firemen, a number of teachers receive appointment, Mr. Speaker. So this is something that they are excited about, Mr. Speaker. And what brings me joy, Mr. Speaker, in the 2019 and 2022 elections, when I went to these young people, I asked them for their support, Mr. Speaker. I told them it was safer with Labour. I told them that they will grow with Grant, Mr. Speaker. And we are seeing the opportunities, we are seeing the growth, both present and future, in our young people within the Wesley constituency. Mr. Speaker, in the Joe Burton area, we have a number of lots that will be made available. As the minister responsible for public utilities, I've been working hard to ensure that we bring light, electricity, and water to these lots, Mr. Speaker, which we have done. So by September, Mr. Speaker, I am hoping that the first group of public servants within the Wesley constituency can receive their allocation letter for their lots. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Tourism continues to do excellent work, and I continue to benefit from that within the Wesley constituency, Mr. Speaker. If you go to Douglas Charles, Mr. Speaker, anytime you're traveling, any individual that you will meet at Douglas Charles, Mr. Speaker, ask them where they're from. They're going to tell you Wesley vote for them, Mr. Speaker. A number of young people within the Wesley constituency are now employed at Douglas Charles. And that is because of the increased flights, Mr. Speaker, and the expansion of services at Douglas Charles. And the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. Speaker, must be commended for this. Mr. Speaker, while it's not within the Wesley constituency, Mr. Speaker, the Cabrits Marina, the Ansley May Jetty, Mr. Speaker, the cable car project, because of the road network that this government has built, Mr. Speaker, you know we have people who are working on the cable car project up at Loda from Wesley. And this is testament that you could leave Wesley and be in Roseau in 45 minutes because of the road network. So nowhere in the Commonwealth of Dominica is too far if you really want to work, Mr. Speaker, because there are opportunities that interest a number of young people across the country. Mr. Speaker, while we are creating jobs, Mr. Speaker, we do recognize that times are tough, so we are creating a cushion. And we have seen with the incentive in providing relief with a number of food items, Mr. Speaker, and I think my constituents are very pleased with the number of items that have been removed in terms of duties and VAT over the next 6 months. But Mr. Speaker, I would like to urge the wholesalers, the retailers, all the little shops, Mr. Speaker, to do their part in passing on these savings to the consumer. And Mr. Speaker, the consumers, the small amount as it is, that you will save, $1 saved, Mr. Speaker, is $1 earned, so I would urge them to put it to good use. The NEP, Mr. Speaker, we heard that the NEP, if they ever were to take power, would be rebranded, it would be changed, Mr. Speaker. But for years, the NEP was bashed, Mr. Speaker. The employees were bashed. And I do not think that persons understand the level of impact that being employed in a rural community of Wesley and Woodford Hill and have the ability to drop your children to school and pick them up at the end of the workday, the impact that this is having on our rural communities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's not just a salary, Mr. Speaker, and it's important that we highlight, it's not just about the money. The NEP has raised the confidence level of many of our rural women because they now have that level of independence to comfortably take care of their children as single parents, pay their house rent, Mr. Speaker, but most importantly, provide for their children. And we have seen this across the country. But also, they are now contributing to Social Security. So before you're unemployed, you're not contributing. So when you are sick, Mr. Speaker, or you have another child, you now can benefit from the contributions that you have made to the Dominica Social Security. And Mr. Speaker, I would like to say on behalf of all the NEP interns, Mr. Speaker, thank you to this administration, Mr. Speaker, because over $77,000 is paid in the Wesley constituency, and this is something significant because, Mr. Speaker, it makes a big difference in the lives of many of our young single mothers, whether they are part of the beautification project, Mr. Speaker, or on the farm, they are contributing to their own development with the full support of this Labour Party administration. Mr. Speaker, over the last few weeks, the Wesley Primary School, we had to relocate on a shift system to the Northeast Comprehensive School. Mr. Speaker, we heard the announcement from the Honorable Prime Minister. We are in discussions with the Ministry of Education, and we will be constructing a brand new Wesley Primary School at Londonderry, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have seen the designs. It is a brand new, much improved space for our children within the constituency. Some persons have expressed concern that the school will be outside of the village. I can assure the parents, Mr. Speaker, this is not so. We will be, for those of us who know the area well, at the lab, where the lab is located now, we'll be joining that road with the Joe Burton Road so children can commute easily to and from the village. So the vegetation that is there, Mr. Speaker, we have concerns as to It's a lot of vegetation, and now we're going to have small children. The entire site is being cleared as we speak, Mr. Speaker, and construction of the new Wesley Primary School is on its way. Mr. Speaker, housing continues to be a need for the residents of Wesley and Woodford Hill, but within in the Woodford Hill constituency, in the coming months, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Housing has informed me that we'll be handing over 16 three-bedroom homes to the community of Woodford Hill, and I look forward to this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we continue with our small business support, Mr. Speaker, because as you can imagine, our restaurants, our bars, our shops are buzzing. So in the coming weeks, we'll be making some small donations or small assistance to a number of small businesses within the Wesley and Woodford Hill communities. Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, I must say thanks to the Wesley Village Council, Mr. Speaker, the Woodford Hill Village Council, because the job of a PALREP is much easier when you have support. And these two councils are doing a very impressive job, Mr. Speaker, and I look forward to their continued support. To my constituency executive, Mr. Speaker, the stalwarts who constantly have you under pressure to do better, Mr. Speaker, I thank them. I thank them as well for their support. All the young people, all the labor women who support me through one way or another, Mr. Speaker, I thank them for their continued support. Mr. Speaker, as I closed a few weeks ago, the opposition, I'm not too sure if Honorable Charles was part of it, Mr. Speaker, they announced their potential candidate, Mr. Speaker. I still cannot believe that that's the best the other side can do, but we'll go with that for now, Mr. Speaker. That's the best they can do, Mr. Speaker. So we'll go with that. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind Dominicans, and I want to remind all of us that Labour is the only party that continues to deliver for this administration, for this country, Mr. Speaker. Indeed. Only the Labour Party who could deliver us from the UWP. Only the Labour Party could deliver us from Tropical Storm Erica and Hurricane Maria. Only the Labour Party who could have delivered us from COVID-19. It's only the Labour Party that can deliver and sustain the NEP program and the Yes We Care program. Only the Labour Party that can deliver and sustain the agriculture sector. Only the Labour Party that can deliver and sustain our housing program. It's only the Labour Party who delivered and paid off 40% of student loans, Mr. Speaker, using our CBI funds. Only the Labour Party who could deliver geothermal to Dominica, cheaper and more reliable energy. Mr. Speaker, it's only the Labour Party who could increase the number of flights to Dominica and create employment at the Douglas Charles Airport, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Dominicans, my dear constituents, Labour Party is the only party that will deliver to Dominica the international airport.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
Only Labour and Labour alone that will ensure fiscal discipline and sustainable growth for our economy. Labour can, Mr. Speaker, and Labour will grow and deliver dynamic Dominica. Mr. Speaker, as I have said before, the majority of Wesley and Woodford Hill constituents, Mr. Speaker, have shown full support, Mr. Speaker, in the Dominica Labour Party, and this will continue for the foreseeable future, Mr. Speaker. And we're talking 10, 15, maybe 20 years of the Labour Party in the Wesley constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am in touch with my constituency. I am on the ground, Mr. Speaker, and I have no doubt, none whatsoever, Mr. Speaker, that at any time when there is an election call, the Wesley constituency, and Fidel Grant will remain solid with the Dominica Labour Party, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with these few words, Mr. Speaker, I give my full support to this budget, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
My eyes fell on Senator Paris first, but if you're willing, you could yield if you want. But my eyes fell on you first. Do you want to proceed? Okay.
Don't worry, I'll give you more. I will give you more time. Thank you.
Yes. Honorable Charles Pemberton, you may proceed.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, I rise today with immense pride to support the 2025-2026 budget. This budget for me and for my beautiful constituents in Point Michel, Galio, Soufriere, and Scottsdale, and indeed all of Dominica, is the story of a nation that has been battered, bruised, tested, but never broken, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I reflected on the Minister of Finance masterful presentation last week Friday and the hard work of his team at the Ministry of Finance, I felt that my contribution this morning should reflect on our journey. And I know some of my colleagues have done so, but there are some critical points that I must make. Mr. Speaker, there are some people who don't want us to talk about the past. They talk as if Dominica streets were paved with gold before Labour took office in 2000. But Mr. Speaker, to understand where we are today, we have to reflect on where we came from. Mr. Speaker, in 1979, less than 1 year after gaining independence, we were struck by Hurricane David. Imagine the struggles: no economic cushion, manufacturing plants destroyed, the famous Elrose company, the lime factory in Soufriere fled, roads collapsed, mass migration. One can just imagine the struggles of the late Dame Eugenia Charles to rebuild Dominica from rubble. Fast forward to the 90s, our economy depended almost entirely on bananas. Then came the WTO ruling. Dominica lost its preferential market access overnight. Our main export and the backbone of rural communities collapsed. Mr. Speaker, also in the same 90s, and Mr. Speaker, just bear with me because I'm building a story to let you know where we have come from, how far the Dominica Labour Party has brought Dominica. Between 1995 to 2000, and most of my colleagues, Honorable Lockhart, Grant, Pinard, we've spoken about it, the UWP governed Dominica. They inherited a 56% debt to GDP ratio from the Dominican Freedom Party. 56%. Mr. Speaker, after they lost the election, after their son ceremony in Delis, the Dominica Labour Party government inherited a 90% debt to GDP ratio, a 34-point increase just in 4 years. The result, forcing the Dominica Labour Party to seek an IMF bailout and austerity measures. So, Mr. Speaker, this was Dominica lived reality, a bankrupt economy. And Mr. Speaker, please allow me to refer to my notes.
Permission granted.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You're so kind.
But remember, I caution about those long history before we go
Well,
into the
Mr.
meat of
Speaker,
the
I don't
matter.
think it's fair to a parliamentarian can present his case because I'm bringing it into context.
No, I'm bearing
With
with
this
you.
new
I'm
budget.
bearing with you. I'm bearing.
Thank you very much. His history is important to understand, and our young people born in the year 2000 do not know the history of Dominica. We have to continue to repeat it so they can understand why it will always be safer with Labour. Mr. Speaker, a hospital with no ICU, an airport closed by sunset, poor road infrastructure, deplorable housing condition, and under 60% of Dominicans without potable water, access to potable water. This was our reality, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I did a further analysis to understand the impact of climate disasters on our country over the last 20 years. And a cost comparison to a few OECS countries, because there are some people that like to compare us to OECS countries like St. Kitts, St. Lucia, Antigua, and Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I found out some shocking facts. Mr. Speaker, over the last 20 years, and we're talking primarily between 2004 and 2023, St. Kitts had 4 moderate disasters. Total damage, $35 to $40 million US. Antigua and Barbuda had 1 major disaster. Barbuda. Total estimated cost, $250 million. St. Lucia had 2 major events. Total cost, $400 million. Dominica, Mr. Speaker, it really, 3 major disasters. Do you know what was the cost to us? Almost $1.9 billion US, equivalent to EC 5.2 billion. Mr. Speaker, that is 4 times our GDP, which is at 1.3 billion. Mr. Speaker, that brought me sadness when you look at the reality of it. 4 times your GDP. But Mr. Speaker, I say it with great pride that we are still standing. And not only standing, Mr. Speaker, but under the leadership of Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, we are transforming Dominica. We have an economic plan, Senator Paris. We diversified our economy. We strengthened our financial systems. We maintained, in spite of all this, Minister of Finance, Dr. Mack, reported an 89% debt to GDP ratio. 89%, not 90 in 4 years. After all this, 89% debt to GDP. We position Dominica as a global model for resilience. So, Mr. Speaker, I hope some people listened or got a copy of the budget, because I've been hearing about 10 pillars or something like that, Mr. Speaker. A bunch of ideas with no direction, no details, but a weak attempt to overshadow the real growth taking place in our country. So I have 2 questions for the great economist or economists to the government of Sudan. Explain to the people of Dominica, after 7 years, why you left the people of Sudan in the arms of the IMF? And the second question, why do you refuse to give credit to the leadership of Roosevelt Skerrit, who achieved all this without going to the IMF? And Mr. Speaker, he's always boasting about his books, and I respect all professionals and their books. But I have a suggestion for him. I think his next book should be Roosevelt Skerrit, Triumph over Adversity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the truth is, where Dominica is today, we have never been, and where we are going is even greater. So let's talk about tourism, real measurable growth. I'll share with you what we have achieved in the last fiscal year, cousin. Extension and grooving of the runway, $26.3 million. And I must thank my colleagues, because when I first, Mr. Speaker, said about extension of runway, they were like, we're building international, but you cover the extension. So I have to thank them. Because, Mr. Speaker, this has led to increased safety and security of our runway, boost the pilot's confidence to land in Dominica, reduction in flight cancellations, increased airlift because United Airlines started direct non-stop service to Dominica, and job creation, 35 new jobs because of United Airlines and increased staff by DASPER. And Mr. Speaker, we have restoration of daily flights on American Airlines. And a little birdie told me yesterday, I don't really see that we'll get maybe more. We'll get 2 flights daily. No, 2 flights on a few days more than Saturdays, because last year we got 2 flights every Saturdays. But I'm hearing that they're planning to increase that to other days, Mr. Speaker. On the seaside ferry service, the seat capacity is currently at 797 daily, Mr. Speaker. So in totality, seat capacity from last year to this year went from 2,624 to 3,146 seats for people to come into Dominica in this fiscal year, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Under product development, we spend about $776,000 to do site enhancements and maintenance, improvements to trails, water supply, rest areas, washrooms, signage in Emerald Pool, Trafalgar Falls, Indian River, Freshwater Lake, and T2 Gorge, Mr. Speaker. And my cousin, Honorable Charles, spoke about training. So I'm happy to report to you that we trained 182 people in the last fiscal year, inclusive of 75 tour guides, 88 taxi service providers, and 11 vendors for a certified program at the Dominica State College. We are about to launch a Chief Experience Officer training program from Caribbean Tourism Organization. Mr. Speaker, this program is targeting 150 stakeholders to elevate their attitudes, increase their knowledge and skills, improve their knowledge and their skills, Mr. Speaker. We are currently reviewing a move with the government of Cuba for exchange program for training in the tourism industry. I'm really excited about that. And Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the People's Republic of China for the training in culinary arts, which will be taking place in September, Mr. Speaker. Yes, so we can train our people how to use more of our local crops and vegetables to create tasty dishes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also 91 tourism stakeholders benefited from the 30 million credit facility at the 8 Bank. 24 taxi operators for a tune of 4.7 million. And Mr. Speaker, you know that the government also provides concessions if you buy a vehicle 5 years and under. There's a waiver of the import duty and excise tax. Accommodation sector, 15 benefited, 2.6 million. Taxi transportation tour operators, 2.6 million, Mr. Speaker. And other related tourism businesses, vendors, restaurants, bars, and tour boats, 24 of them benefited to a tune of $2.1 million. So, Mr. Speaker, the money of the aid bank has been helping our small business owners to upgrade themselves and further expand their businesses. Mr. Speaker, on the marketing and branding, Honorable Charles spoke about marketing strategy and branding positioning and distinguishing our eco-tourism brand from other countries. Mr. Speaker, I want to share with you, 35.2 million people travel to the Caribbean, not the world, travel to the Caribbean annually. So we don't need to compete with Fiji. We have adopted a more targeted approach. Our goal is to become a world-class sustainable tourism destination. Mr. Speaker, Dominica is an eco-tourism haven. And in the summer, DDA launched a campaign called Cool Escapes, utilizing our product pillars, Mr. Speaker. So we promoted coming to Dominica for adventure, where there is hikes, aqua, which is river tubing, diving, snorkeling, whale watching, kayaking, immersive cultural heritage experiences, agro-tourism, farm tours. You have fruit farms, farm-to-table experiences, tasting of herbal teas and a little bush rum. And soon, I'm hearing from the Minister of Agriculture, cannabis. Our indigenous people, the Kalinagos, spend, experiencing a day in Kalinago territory. And then events and festivals. And most importantly, we are growing in demand for wellness tourism, where you soak in our hot springs, breathe our fresh air, a mud spa, and our massage near river, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the campaign targeted the following source markets. I won't go into details about specific cities because it's a competitive industry, but France, USA, Trinidad, Barbados, Europe, and French West Indies, Mr. Speaker. We recently had a destination display in London where 30 media professionals were present talking about the beauty and the different experiences you can have in Dominica. And we launched a campaign with one of our airline partners, Vacation Platform, Mr. Speaker, which gives us access to millions of customers, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, because of those efforts, we continue to receive numerous accolades. I will just highlight a few. National Geographic Best in the World list. Condé Nast Travelers Reader's Choice for rankings of top Caribbean islands. Dominica was ranked among the top eco-conscious travel destinations globally. So, Mr. Speaker, we are pushing. But there is something I'm realizing in all my travels, and we've been discussing this as a team. You know what Dominica's biggest challenge is still today? It is confused with Dominican Republic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I went to Singapore. I made a big presentation. I said, I gave the square footage of Dominica. I said, we only have 73,000 people. Mr. Speaker, after the presentation, some of my colleagues ran up to me. Oh, we really enjoyed the presentation on Dominica. You know, we're coming there in a few months for some conference. I said, where? They said, Dominica. I said, conference? I said, then another call. No, it's Dominican Republic, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, no matter how many times you say Dominica, automatically people think of the Republic. So I've been discussing it with our team because we have to have a more strategic campaign for the winter season because people have to know that we are Dominica and not the Dominican Republic. So we'll be doing that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on the events and festivals pillar, that's one of our pillars that we get about 20% stayover arrivals. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that there is growing interest in our festivals, and the Finance Minister spoke about the 35% increase during Carnival. We've seen double growth in Jazz Festival and in the Creole Festival, Mr. Speaker, and we expect this year to be the biggest Creole festival as we celebrate our Silver Jubilee, Mr. Speaker. I hope you have your outfit already. Yes. We have other private events like Bike Fest and Breakfast Fest. Mr. Speaker, I hope everybody has their brown outfit to go to Grand Bay. Or Parep, you ready to host us in Grand Bay for Breakfast Fest? We'll be there in brown nature colors, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, my cousin, Honorable Charles, suggesting having the T-shirt band in a week before the actual parade on Monday and Tuesday. It's a great idea, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask him, how do we deal with village carnivals? We cannot even get bands to leave their villages to come down on Monday and Tuesday. Nobody wants to give up their village carnival. From the time carnival season opens, it's village carnivals every weekend. So here lies your challenge. So you can tell me who's going to give up their village carnival so we can do this a week. Very difficult, Mr. Speaker. We are not Antigua. It's very easy to mention and reference, but you have to look at the culture in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, what we will be doing in this fiscal year is reviewing Dominica Festivals Commission to make it a standalone organization and developing an entertainment policy. Because as much as tourists love coming to Dominica and they have a fabulous time in the day, we have to increase nightlife activities, Mr. Speaker. So we'll be developing a policy to boost nightlife so people can spend more money in Dominica, because visitors are saying we want to spend more money, Mr. Speaker, and I want them, I need them to spend more money. So we have to provide concessions so our people can continue to invest in this industry. So, Mr. Speaker, let's look at the results of all what I've said. Results, real growth. Total visitor arrivals, 435,255. Compared to last fiscal year, this is a 10% increase, surpassing pre-pandemic levels by 71%. Cruise calls increased to 232, about 340,021 passengers disembarked. So that is 77% disembarking to go on excursions, 6% more than last season. Stayover visitors increased by 5% compared to 2024-2025, surpassing pre-pandemic levels by 35%. Real growth. Mr. Speaker, what is really exciting for me is what's coming. Projections for next cruise season, we anticipate 251 calls with a total capacity of 533,611 passengers. You hear that, taxi operators and vendors? 12 new inaugural calls. And guess what, Mr. Speaker? I know they'll be very happy for this news, our stakeholders. The season closes in August, not April, Mr. Speaker. Business is bright and creamy in Dominica. Our projections for the stayover visitors in 2025, 100,000, Mr. Speaker, and we are about 45% towards our target, Mr. Speaker, at the end of June. Mr. Speaker, on the capital side, so many great projects taking place. But let's put it in context so people understand. People need to know that if you have to make an investment, the time is now. The cable car, 6 months to completion, and we'll have the longest detachable cable car in the world, Mr. Speaker. The capacity, 1,000 passengers per hour. 15 months to the marina. The capacity, 50 berths, 45 regular and 5 larger vessels. Big news for the North. I hope the people of Portsmouth are ready. 12 months to a new Roseau Ferry terminal. Imagine improved ambience and seamless service for our guests. New cruise terminal in 24 months, 2 years. The capacity to be 2 mega vessels and 3 small, regular, Mr. Speaker. The feasibility study is ongoing. Ansley Port in 6 months, and the PAL rep from Pebo, which has already articulated the impact it's going to have in her community. Champagne Beach facility within 8 months. That project was delayed due to a land matter, but we have resolved this, and so I expect that work will commence very soon, Mr. Speaker. Very important for my constituency. Major site enhancements: Montrose, Trafalgar, Boisnet Falls, Middleham Falls, Col Soufriere, Mero Beach, Mr. Speaker. New green smart cargo ports within 2 years, Mr. Speaker. Also an opportunity to do transshipment from Dominica. And Mr. Speaker, 2 years for the grand opening of the Roosevelt Skerrit International Airport, Mr. Speaker. We'll be able to have 3 wide bodies and 7 narrow bodies, Mr. Speaker. And we'll be able to accommodate about 5 general private planes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have the opening of major resorts: Ocean Oasis, Sanctuary Rainforest Eco Resort, Hilton Tranquility Beach Resort, Marriott Anishi, adding additional 641 rooms to our room stock. You like that, you do? You like the real growth on the labor? I can see that. To our rooms, 342 rooms to our room stock. And Mr. Speaker, whilst all this is happening in Dominica, we are also focused on route development. Mr. Speaker, we are working on a direct flight, non-stop service from St. Thomas to Dominica. And we should have news about that very soon. Daily service from Dominica on Wynyard commenced in July. Caribbean Airlines service from San Juan to Dominica to Trinidad to onwards connection to Toronto, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, flights as low as $200, Mr. Speaker, one way. Yes, time to travel. Book your flights. Take a vacation. And Mr. Speaker, a second flight on United Airlines to commence on October 29th, on Wednesdays, to commence on October 29th, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let's be real. Isn't this progress? Dominica Labour Party is working. What does this translate to? More people, more visitors, greater consumption of goods and services, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Roland spoke about his attempts to boost production in agriculture, Mr. Speaker. So I'm not going to go over that because that's very important. Expecting more people, you have to feed more people. So the plans for agriculture are critical, and I want to commend him for his efforts to ensure that we'll have sufficient food to feed people, apart from food security. Mr. Speaker, these investments will create over 1,000 direct jobs. So we need more people to pursue skills. We need more mechanics, electricians, air traffic controllers, marine pilots, chefs, hospitality staff, seafarers, engineers, social media experts or content creators, bloggers, tourism executives, management staff, tour guides, taxi operators, security officers, airline agents, maintenance workers, landscapers, cleaners, information officers, custom officers, and the list goes on and on. Jobs, new jobs, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we did a skills audit at the DASPA to understanding our current staff profile, because, Mr. Speaker, we may have to retool some people to redirect them to take advantage of those opportunities. But here lies our opportunity for our youth to pursue studies in aviation, maritime, tourism, Mr. Speaker. So I'm really, really happy about the 2% facility at the Aid Bank, which specifically focuses on national priorities, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, each project, as I said, means more jobs, more opportunities, and a future we own. Domniche, it will belong to us. We came a very long way, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it will mean the craft vendors in Kalinago can earn more income. And I want to make a plea at this time to the tourism vendors for cruise. Please offer our visitors more local products, authentic Dominican products, Mr. Speaker. They are asking for it. They don't mind paying a little bit more, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the taxi drivers see a future of more consistent cruise calls and greater demand for taxi service at the airport. Certified tour guides make more money. Restaurant owners have a steady flow of customers, and occupancy rates at our hotels can be 70% annually, Mr. Speaker. But, Honorable Charles, despite our gains, I agree we have to do more to distinguish Dominica. We still need more added value cultural packages and more accommodation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the buzzword in the industry today is authenticity, Mr. Speaker. Visitors, digital nomads, want a more localized experience, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, that is why Honorable McIntyre spoke about the Village Tourism Accelerator, Mr. Speaker. It simply means that we are taking inventory of all our tourism assets in every village in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, to develop linkages, Mr. Speaker, to create unique packages, create better content for digital ads, and showcasing the diverse experiences that people can have in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want people to come to Dominica to learn Kokoi in Marigot. And then they can go to Grand Bay to hear Creole, to learn some Creole, Mr. Speaker. They can do horticulture in Girondel at the flower show site, Mr. Speaker, and sport fishing in Scott's Head, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, just to give you an example to put it in perspective, somebody can book a vacation in Dominica, stay at Regina's homestay in Kalinago territory, homestay and farm, It's just a nice farm. Visit Sicilia to have a lesson on basket weaving, go to the KBA to experience the food, dance, Kalinago culture, Mr. Speaker, traditional wear, face painting, and then have a class to learn the Kalinago language, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some of it is already happening, but by this accelerator program, Mr. Speaker, it's going to focus on content creation, as I said, marketing, videos for TikTok, storytelling, Mr. Speaker. So, and it also provide micro grants for upgrades, example, painting, signage. So we have a consultant, Jose Brown, who is already working with our stakeholders, Mr. Speaker, and especially small tourism accommodation, Mr. Speaker. And we found out a lot of things. All people were doing business, but they were being, I would say, robbed, but because they did not know how to properly set up on certain platforms, they were losing a lot of money, Mr. Speaker. So she has been very helpful in guiding them how to control the revenue that you make on a platform, and it has been very useful. But apart from that, to be more creative, to have added value packages, Mr. Speaker. And so far, Mr. Speaker, she has met about 40 properties, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we are finalizing a priority list. I know every village in Dominica has tourism gems. For you see, Mr. Speaker, you see the problem I hear? You hear the pal rep of La Plate, Mr. Speaker? We did a tour with her recently to document all our assets in the La Plain constituency, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, you see the problems I mean. But Mr. Speaker, we have to prioritize, Mr. Speaker. So we are finalizing our priority list, Mr. Speaker, so we can ensure that we build more resilient communities in Dominica, because many more people can make money from this vibrant industry, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, the second aspect is accommodation. Our goal is 1.5 million visitors by 2030. And when I say that, people, Mr. Speaker, you have to think big, Mr. Speaker. And we can achieve it. But we need more rooms, Mr. Speaker. Today, we have about 2,000 rooms between hotels and short-term rental accommodations, Mr. Speaker, and homestays. So, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Charles mentioned certification, the member from Marigot. Standards. Mr. Speaker, we have the Nature Island standards of excellence, Mr. Speaker, as you know. So, Mr. Speaker, by law, any tourism service provider is supposed to be certified, or we can shut you down. That's by law, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, we have had service providers that had challenges after Maria with insurance costs and other issues, Mr. Speaker, and we have been working with them to get them certified. But as of today, we have about 737 certified tourism service providers. But interestingly, I want him to know that we only have one car rental certified, which he referenced. So, Mr. Speaker, I'm just reminding people, we have a campaign to try to get you to get certified, but by law, we can really close down your business. So is that what you want me to do? You want me to close? So, he also mentioned about targeting high-end tourists. Quality over quantity, Mr. Speaker. But I beg to say, whilst our target is not mass tourism, let's put something in perspective. Mr. Speaker, Singapore is 283 square foot in size, Mr. Speaker. Dominica is 290 square miles, 290 square miles. Mr. Speaker, Singapore received 16.4 million tourists in 2024. So, I'll just leave that there, Mr. Speaker. I'll just leave that there for my cousin to ponder upon. I'm not saying we're pursuing mass tourism, but I don't think Dominica is at a stage now to be talking about carrying capacity of tourists, Mr. Speaker. I'll just leave that there. Our goal is to triple tourism contribution to GDP, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to tell you, I spoke a lot about figures and the percentage growth, but let me put it in dollars and cents. Mr. Speaker, in the last fiscal year, because of tourism, $335 million circulated in our economy. We hope to achieve by the end of the 2025-2026 fiscal year, $498 million tourism contribution to the economy, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, if we achieve 1.5 million tourists or visitors to the island, Mr. Speaker, by 2030, if everything remains the same, I expect spending to increase, Mr. Speaker, but dealing with current prices as provided by the IMF on spending, Dominica, Mr. Speaker, tourism will contribute $1.8 billion to the economy. So you see how we can triple it, Mr. Speaker? And Mr. Speaker, who is making the money in tourism? Farmers, fishers, tour guides, vendors, tour operators, taxi operators, hospitality workers, supermarkets, Domlec, every small, medium, large business in Dominica and every person in Dominica can make in a dollar from tourism, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to prepare. There are some critical investments that are required now. And that is why, being a responsible government and planning ahead, we have to introduce a tourism environmental levy. Mr. Speaker, the Nature Island Fund, US $30 per visitor, but Mr. Speaker, children under 12 will not pay anything, Mr. Speaker. Increase ecotourism site pass to $20 a day pass and $50 a week, $50 a week for the pass, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you convert that, Mr. Speaker, we have 12 ecotourism sites, Mr. Speaker. You divide that, Mr. Speaker, it's about $1.66 per site, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, Dominica is growing. We have to improve collections, Mr. Speaker. We have to maintain our sites. And climate change is real. Do you know how many times people call me or call Honorable Cozier to say there's a landslide here? Mr. Speaker, we just spent about 90-something thousand in doing some repair works at the boiling lake. Yesterday, the PS is telling me we have another 83,000 to spend. It is not cheap. We must not underestimate the impact that climate change is having on our natural resources. And we have to have the funds to respond quickly, Mr. Speaker, because when you don't respond, the same stakeholders put in pressure on you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to develop new products. We have to improve access, and we have to do more community tourism-based initiatives, as I mentioned, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, all countries in the OECS, Barbados, Antigua, St. Lucia, have funds dedicated for tourism, Mr. Speaker. So I understand some of the operators have concerns on how it will impact their excursion packages, Mr. Speaker, and we will meet with them. The Honorable and I, Cozier and I, will meet with them, Mr. Speaker. But the truth is, we have to prepare for the growth we expect now, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, of course, we will have, as the Minister mentioned, we'll be establishing a tourism council for oversight, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is something I'm really excited about. It's called shore power, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, according to IMO regulations, sea vessels have to reduce their carbon emissions. Actually, they have to get to net zero by 2050, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we have now approved a feasibility study to find out about our potential, Mr. Speaker, to provide shore power, Mr. Speaker, to assist the ships in offsetting their carbon emissions, Mr. Speaker, when docked in Dominica. So, Mr. Speaker, this will give Dominica a competitive advantage in the cruise industry. And so, Mr. Speaker, I cannot wait for that feasibility study to be done, Mr. Speaker, and I'm hoping that the results is that we can, and we can in quick time, Mr. Speaker. So I'm looking forward to that. And I want to thank the Minister of Finance and the Minister of Energy for their pursuit of renewable energy, because, Mr. Speaker, geothermal energy is transforming Dominica. Anywhere I go and I speak about the work we are doing for renewable energy, people applaud the small island nation, all the big things we are doing for our country to move it forward. Mr. Speaker, another great initiative or project I'm excited about is the export of water. According to the World Bank, global water demand will exceed supply. Demand will exceed supply by 40% in 2030. The global projected bottled water market is expected to grow by US $500 million by 2030, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, some might say late, but better late than never, Mr. Speaker. This is an excellent time to export water, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, everybody knows Dominica is a water-rich island, Mr. Speaker, and we have pure, clean water, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a great move to further diversifying our economy and increasing exports, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, just in case some people think that they gave the government the idea, we have been working on this for over a year now, Mr. Speaker. Okay, I just want to clear the record because I know some of them out there. Mr. Speaker, the Keep Dominica Clean and Green campaign, Mr. Speaker. Keeping our reputation as a nature island involves adopting eco-friendly practices, Mr. Speaker, recycling and reducing the use of plastics and proper disposal of our waste. This is extremely important. The government will do its part, and the Honorable Lloyd mentioned that we're getting some trucks and we're going to decentralize collection of garbage, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, the amount of derelict vehicles being placed on the side of the road, abandoned lots unkept in villages is unsightly and unacceptable. And we have to do better as a people, Mr. Speaker. The police, they're doing a great job in removing the derelict vehicles, Mr. Speaker. But we're giving the police too much work. When I believe this is also an individual responsibility, Mr. Speaker. We have to take individual and collective responsibility in every community in Dominica to keep Dominica clean and green, Mr. Speaker. And this thing about posting garbage on social media, I really don't know who we think we're embarrassing. Anybody in the outside world looks down and they see Dominica, you know. They don't think about Labour Party, they don't think about government. What they see is Dominicans and how they dispose their garbage, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, let us do a better job as a people in managing and sorting our garbage and not creating an embarrassment for ourselves, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, to close on the tourism section, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and the ministerial staff, hard-working team, Mr. Speaker, the CEO of Discover Dominica Authority and her team, Dominica Festivals Committee, the CEO of DASPA and his team, Ambassador Benoit Badwil, Samuel Johnson, CEO of the International Airport Development Company, other line ministries like Public Works for their commitment and hard work, Mr. Speaker. I know sometimes I can push hard, Mr. Speaker, but we are all working for a more prosperous Dominica. To all the tourism stakeholders, I thank you for being great ambassadors of our beautiful country. And I look forward to awarding, we have an award ceremony later on this year, to awarding outstanding tourism stakeholders, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend the government for the waiver of duties and VAT. Mr. Speaker, people are feeling the pressures on their pockets, Mr. Speaker, due to global challenges. And what this waiver does is provide some temporary relief to single families, to hardworking Dominicans, Mr. Speaker. No VAT on laundry, detergent, foodstuff, adult diapers. Mr. Speaker, I know the cost of those things. I assist some of my constituents at times. And infant pampers, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst we continue to encourage people to live a more healthier lifestyle, Mr. Speaker, and we are the government that has pushed backyard gardening, Mr. Speaker. The pilot from Roseau had a hydroponics seminar, Mr. Speaker, teaching people how to do hydroponics to grow food in the city, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we are doing our part, but people have their choices, their preferences. People eat what they want to eat as much as we encourage them to eat local. And I really want Dominicans to eat more local goods, to keep the money circulating in our economy, Mr. Speaker. But let me make this clear to the vendors, Mr. Speaker. These waivers are for the people of Dominica. So I will be watching you. The Ministry of Trade will be monitoring. Pass the people's savings to them, Mr. Speaker. That is all I will say on the matter. Mr. Speaker, on housing, the Minister of Housing spoke. Mr. Speaker, on all the plans we've had, what we have accomplished, and what over 200 homes we plan to deliver in this upcoming fiscal year, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, we are the government that created the Housing Loan Board, offering mortgages at 5% to public servants. Today, the 2% facility, Opportunity Knocks 2% home loans in housing, is another great program, opening a door for public servants, Mr. Speaker, who earn a salary under 45K to own a piece of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, without a doubt, this Labour Party government, whether through selling lots below market price, building homes for vulnerable families, or creating low interest rate mortgage facilities, we have made it easier for Dominicans to own a piece of Dominica. And apart from the physical well-being, Mr. Speaker, we must factor in the peace of mind, Mr. Speaker. When I think about the homeowners in Scottsdale, Mr. Speaker, and I reflect on their stories, some people sleeping on the road, in people's porches, Mr. Speaker, carrying water, having to dispose their waste by the sea, Mr. Speaker, or crammed in one room, Mr. Speaker. I am very happy for the 21 families, Mr. Speaker, who received their homes to the Scottsdale Seaview Apartments, Mr. Speaker. They're very, very grateful to the Dominica Labour Party administration. That is why, Mr. Speaker, my constituents know the Dominica Labour Party cares, and I'm warning people, be careful when you go to my constituency and back talk the Dominica Labour Party. What you get, you will get, Mr. Speaker. That's all I will say, Mr. Speaker. What you get, you will take, Mr. Speaker. What you get, you will take. So be careful what you say about Labour in the Soufriere constituency, Mr. Speaker, because we're ready. So, Mr. Speaker, we are also going to be giving 16 homes in Point Michel. And I want to thank Honorable Oscar George for the lighting of the Brooklyn playing field in Soufriere. We had a fantastic time at the commissioning, Mr. Speaker. It has really restored the sporting activities in Soufriere, Gallio, and Scottsdale. Mr. Speaker, I'm looking forward.
10 more minutes.
I'm looking forward to the rehabilitation of the Point Michel playing field, Honorable Oscar, because we have the most football players in Point Michel, Mr. Speaker. Yes. We have about 3 players on the national team, Mr. Speaker, and we have over 60 footballers, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, they're looking forward to that and the lighting of the Point Michel playing field. Mr. Speaker, we're also looking forward to the rebuilding of our preschool, which was damaged after Hurricane Maria. So I want to thank Jungle Bay and the Ministry of Education for their hard work to ensure that we can rebuild that preschool, because currently the children have been housed at the church, Mr. Speaker, the Christian Union Church. And I want to thank them, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the church, Mr. Speaker, because after Hurricane Maria, they stepped in, and up till today, one of the families that received a house in Scottsdale was living at the church, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we are going to build a multi-purpose center in Gallio, and I know the people of Gallio are excited. I have told Scottsdale they got boats, they got homes, they're getting a fishing processing plant, which we expect to start this fiscal year, Mr. Speaker. They're getting the slipway, Mr. Speaker, that they have to give me a break. Right now I have to focus on the other villages, Mr. Speaker. And Gallio, Mr. Speaker, is a priority in this fiscal year. I know they're waiting to hear that, so I'm letting them know that they will get the multi-purpose center. I have seen the first draft of the designs, which I have to share with them, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I am satisfied. This budget focused on our vision of a more progressive, prosperous Dominica by 2030. A Dominica with climate-smart homes in every village. A nation exporting green energy and organic food. Young Dominicans coding, creating jobs from their homes. More tourists arriving daily by sky or by sea to experience the nature island. This budget is the bridge to that bright future. And it is within reach because the Dominica Labour Party administration refused to give up. This budget reflects a government that sees every Dominican, that values dignity, that is building for the next generation. The responsibility now is on us to prepare and position ourselves for the growth in our economy. Moving to a service economy requires a shift in mindset. This 8 to 4, we have to have a discussion about that because we need a reliable, well-equipped workforce, Mr. Speaker. And most importantly, a people united in purpose. Mr. Speaker, we need to keep Dominica one of the safest countries in the world. We have been battered enough by disasters. Now is Dominica time, Mr. Speaker. Let's stop hurting each other. Let's start uplifting each other, as my cousin said, Mr. Speaker. Let's be more tolerant, more patient, more understanding, more forgiving. Let's love one another, Mr. Speaker. The Lord has declared this is our season. Let us pray without ceasing to realize it. Merci body, let us rise together, Mr. Speaker. And with these few words, Mr. Speaker, I wholeheartedly support the budget for 2025-2026 fiscal year.
Yes, Senator Paris, you are recognized. You may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker, parliamentary colleagues. It's good to be here to make some short contributions to the current debate before the House. Mr. Speaker, there's a striking difference between storytelling and statecraft. Storytelling and statecraft. And this administration, obviously, proves to be very, very competent in the former. Mr. Speaker, we consistently hear our ministers string together vivid narratives of record-breaking budgets and transformative projects, visionary leadership. Yet when the applause fades, Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I'm able to refer to my notes.
Are you standing on a point of order?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Obviously, the member has been referring to his notes prior to asking you to refer to his notes.
No. I did not get what you said.
The honourable member has been referring to his notes.
Hold on. Members. Yes?
Mr. Speaker, the honourable member has been referring to his notes without seeking your permission to do so.
Senator, have you been reading your notes? If you're reading your notes, you have to ask for permission. Are you? No, you may proceed. You may proceed. Let's proceed. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, I humbly beseech your permission to intermittently refer to these notes that I have written on the paper.
Permission granted. Proceed, please.
Mr. Speaker, when the applause fades and we turn around and we turn away from the podiums and we actually get to the spreadsheets, the numbers don't agree with the stories that we tell. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Prime Minister recently said that in this budget, we're going to be dealing with the cost of living frontally. In my view, that is an admission that probably for the last 10 or 15 budget cycles, we have not dealt adequately with the cost of living for people in Dominica. In many cases, Mr. Speaker, all of the storytelling has highlighted projects like resurfacing and expansion and widening of roads and cleaning up the roadside as statesmanship, visionary leadership, crowding out real discussions of access to health care, of youth employment and development, the quality of education that we have in Dominica for the 21st century, and building innovation for future generations to come. Mr. Speaker, even when genuine capital projects are being undertaken, the narrative far outweighs the actual numbers. Mr. Speaker, as legislators, it is our duty not merely to listen for lyrical flourishes of world-class infrastructure and historic allocations, but to demand evidence that each dollar spent improves the lived experience of the ordinary Dominican. Keep food on the table and keep them affordable. Keeps our drains and our waterways clean for the next impending storm or rain event. Keeps opportunities open for our young people. Keep garbage off the streets. Mr. Speaker, a bit more effort needs to be made to demonstrate and to explain to the people of Dominica that the budget address eloquently presented is not the actual estimates that we're approving. There's a difference. Essentially, what the Minister of Finance presented is a fiscal policy statement. And I believe, Mr. Speaker, separation must be created. We must come to debate the fiscal policy and whether we agree with the government's policy on pushing Dominica in this particular direction versus that direction. And have a separate debate on what the estimates are. Do some performance review. Do some allocation justification. Look at what and where we have spent the money and why we experience the challenges we experience and what we have done to mitigate them in the upcoming financial period. Mr. Speaker, essentially what I'm proposing is two separate debates. That's not new. That's happening in the region, in some of our sister islands, not too far from here. So it's something that descendants of Afro-Kalinago people, we should look forward to doing, Mr. Speaker, because I think it would bring some clarity, some consciousness to the debate. Yeah? Because what we're hearing, some of it is good, but its policy doesn't reflect the numbers. The numbers don't agree with what it is, with what they're saying. Mr. Speaker? No, I come in with the numbers, adorable. Mr. Speaker, so let's do some more. Let's look at the performance. Obviously, Mr. Speaker, I don't have a lot of time, so we're going to maximize it. I cannot do all of the congratulations that I would like to do, and some of the things that I agree with, like the film industry, you know, we don't have all the time to go through that. Maybe when we split the debates, we can do that. But Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, there's one thing, let's start off on a good note. There's one thing that I would like to support and commend, and that is the recognition from the Ministry of National Security and the government at large with the issue that gun violence is becoming in Dominica. That's not what it used to be back in the day. Our environment is changing. Violence and injustice of that kind doesn't have a color, it doesn't have a species, it doesn't favor one person against the other. And as I've said before, in private, in public, there are some things that we cannot debate on. There are some things that we cannot have differences of opinion on and different sides on. Of course, we hold each other accountable. But I'd like to support the government's initiative, recognizing the problem that gun violence is and standing against it. And I'd like to stand and lend my support to that initiative however I can. Of course, we have to lead by example. We have to be careful with the things we see and the things that we promote. But violence and injustice on anyone is a danger to everyone in Dominica, and we must all stand against it. And Mr. Speaker, let's get back into the numbers and let's look at the performance that we had in last fiscal year. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad that you're taking out your estimates, because that's where I'm going to spend all of the rest of my time, 23 minutes to be exact. Mr. Speaker, what we have here is massive underperformance across many of the public sector investment programs. 8 out of 12 critical industries had massive underperformance, spending less than 50% of their allocations, namely, off the bat, Ministry of Tourism, 46.97%, Agriculture, 34%, Youth, Sports and Community Development, 23%, Foreign Affairs, 38%. An indication, Mr. Speaker, of weak delivery mechanisms, low absorptive capacity. Mr. Speaker, 2 ministries, however, had over-expenditure, extreme over-expenditure, and that is the Ministry of Education and Rural Modernization and Kalinago Upliftment. Ministry of Education had an expenditure of 182.9%, Rural Modernization, Kalinago Upliftment with an expenditure of 115% of its approved allocation. Indication of concerns about planning, accuracy, and fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, under the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Community Development, Minister of Finance claimed a few days ago that our young people continue to benefit from, and I quote, our young people continue to benefit from entrepreneurial support, digital skills training, and the creation of innovation hubs across the country. However, Mr. Speaker, this ministry had one of the worst PSIP implementations for the last fiscal year, executing only 23% of its approved budget, $11.7 million allocated to the ministry. It only spent $2.7 million, leaving $9 million on the table. No progress on national youth employment programs and technical training centers, no reported youth innovation hubs or scaling of entrepreneurship facilities. Mr. Speaker, we can go through it. It's right here. You have the book in front of you. Out of the 19 items, money was spent on only 5 areas, and I want to call them out. Rehabilitation of the IROC House of Culture Phase 2, we allocated $385,000. We only spent $20,000. Windsor Park Sports Stadium rehabilitation works, $650,000. We were only able to spend $37,000. Community Emergency Readiness Initiative, $20,000, a little better spending. We spent $19,000. It's also transferred to somewhere else. BNTF 10, $7.5 million. We only spent $2.4. Strengthening of the Dominica Youth Business Trust, $200,000. We spent $164,000. Mr. Speaker, all of the rest were either mysteriously completed, not having spent any money in this fiscal period, or they were magically removed, including the 40 and under home ownership grant, where we had an allocation of $500,000 and not a dollar was spent in that area. Even under the Ministry of Agriculture, where you have the National Youth Employment in Agriculture program, no money was spent in this area. Yet, Mr. Speaker, we talk about how youth is important. 2 sittings ago, the Prime Minister and I had a little historic interaction, and that's what I was trying to explain to him. I didn't get the opportunity. These are the reasons why we are having the massive brain drain that we're having in Dominica, because we have monies allocated for the young people and we're not spending it in the ministry. This is why Dominican young people are leaving at the rate that they're leaving. Mr. Speaker, permit me to quote Permit me to quote from the World Bank. A report that was produced in April 10, 2025. The macro poverty outlook, country by country analysis and projections for the developing world. Under the section relating to Dominica, inflation averaged 1.5% in the first 6 months of 2024, supported by lower energy costs. Despite this, and Mr. Speaker, this information is not mine. I didn't create this. I'm only looking at the information that I was given and referencing it with the research that I've done. Despite this, food insecurity remains a concern. In 2024, 21% of respondents to the Food Security and Livelihood Survey reported going a whole day without eating in the previous month. 42% were hungry, but didn't eat. Food insecurity is higher in rural areas and among people under the age of 25, reflecting household income instability. Around 34% of respondents reported experiencing job loss or income reduction in the past year. Mr. Speaker, this is the type of trickle-down impact that massive underspending and implementation failure in the public sector investment program has in the economy. Mr. Speaker, while the same report is indicating that Dominica will experience some growth in the GDP and some reduction in our debt, because of our lack of implementation in the critical areas where we need some investment, we risk many of our people going hungry. And that, you want the source? The Minister of Energy is asking me for the source. Macro poverty outlook, country by country analysis and projections for the developing world. That is a World Bank document, that's not mine. Mr. Speaker, this is why this massive underspending.
One second. Members, I think he said that it was a World Bank report, April 10th, 2025. Yeah. No, he said that. He said April 10th, World Bank report 2025. I wrote it
April
down.
10, 2025.
Yeah, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, this kind of underspending and lack of implementation is why our young people are fighting, and why they're drinking, and why they're leaving the country in droves. And we heard earlier in this sitting that many of them in the age, and I think the pilot from Margaret remarked of the gap, the 20 to 30, that being admitted to the APUA, unfortunately, because the opportunities are lacking, because there's a lack of implementation in areas where we should be. Mr. Speaker, I had the opportunity to talk to some young people, you know, and that's not new for me, I do that all the time. And the resounding cry from the young people, I would like to talk about resounding cry. The resounding cry of the young people is that they want access. Mr. Speaker, access, one, to real jobs. Because our young people are qualified. The complaint is that most of the jobs don't match the skills that they have. And there is very limited career opportunities or even upward mobility. And that's why they feel forced to leave. It was so interesting to hear one of them say this. Imagine building a Dominica where ambition doesn't need a visa. Mr. Speaker, number two, they want access to funding and resources. Let's look at the area of music. Booyah music is the fastest growing industry built by our young people, largely by themselves. But Mr. Speaker, they don't need handouts. What they need is access. Where is our music and entertainment industry? Policy, rather. Our music and entertainment policy. I heard the Minister of Tourism mention an entertainment policy a while ago. I'm happy that it's coming. But young people are doing something with our music, indigenous to Dominica, largely by themselves. Couldn't they have done with some more added finances? What do you think they could have done with some added investment and push behind them? With an entertainment policy that doesn't just look for their development, but something that helps to protect something that is uniquely Dominican. To protect our artists, our producers, the people in the industry now, to protect something that is uniquely Dominicans and keep it so. Mr. Speaker, our young people want a real path to home ownership. In the last fiscal year, the 40 and under home ownership grant was established, an allocation of $500,000 was allocated, nothing was spent. How do we explain that? Is it that we didn't have young people that wanted homes, nobody applied? What is the situation with that? Because $500,000, I don't think our young people just leave it on the table. They want a real path to home ownership. They want good quality health care, not just for themselves, but they want it for their parents and their grandparents and their cousin and their sister and their auntie and their uncle too, in Dominica. We have a cadre, a number of highly skilled healthcare professionals from Dominica that don't see working here as a viable option. We need to do more to bring them home because they want to work here, but it cannot be for free. We cannot we cannot ask them to come back for free. Coming back home to work and provide services after you've built a skill must be viable. You must be able to build yourself. It must be worth your while. Even because, Mr. Speaker, here's what they're saying. Young people are saying that they feel they can't make it here. They can't make it here. So I think we need to do better in helping to bring them home. Finally, Mr. Speaker, they want a real voice in governance. They want a real voice in governance. The youth are saying that they feel like they are consulted, but they don't feel respected. Their ideas are heard, they get a round of applause, and nothing happens after that. Young people are saying they want a real voice in government because they want to hustle, they want to make their money, they don't want handouts, but they really want a government that is going to make that a priority for them. And Mr. Speaker, we know why it's not a priority, because we need $9 million on the table. And we had areas where we could have given it to our young people and spent it for their development and protection. That is why Dominican youth are not lazy. They want to work. But they need a partner in government to do it. Mr. Speaker, under the Ministry of Agriculture, good ministry, another dismal performance in PSIP implementation. $52 million allocated, only $17 million spent, leaving $34 million on the table. In his budget address, the budget address last year, as a matter of fact, we were promised that we were going to achieve near self-sufficient local production, expand agro-tourism, agro-processing zones, support the blue economy, fisheries and coastal projects, push organic farming and irrigation. And a few days ago, the Minister of Finance claimed that we have made good progress in the agricultural sector, which recorded a growth of 2% in 2024. Investments in irrigation, training and feeder roads continuing to bear fruit. Mr. Speaker, the reality of that is that, yes, we did grow by 2%. And forgive me, Mr. Speaker, if I don't applaud a bird for flying or a fish for swimming. But the ministry suffered one of the greatest budget cuts in the PSIP allocation. $34 million. You robbed the minister and his financial officers of executing $34 million. Mr. Speaker, that is my narrative now, because I know the minister would have liked to spend that. That is the narrative he would like to spend it. Spending only a third, indicating serious bottlenecks. There has to be a bottleneck, Mr. Speaker. What is preventing us from spending the money that we have allocated? We don't have a money problem. We don't. So what is preventing one of the pillars of national growth and development, a growth engine that all of us depend on? What is preventing us from executing the public sector investment program? I heard the minister's presentation last night, and I know it's not because he didn't want to spend the $34 million. So what happened? What happened? We did grow by 2%, it's true, but maybe we should have grown by 12. maybe we should have grown by 12. And that is the narrative that we're not saying. That is the honesty and the transparency that we're not tabling. Food import remains critically high, and we have money that we're not spending while global food prices continue to increase. All across the globe, we are having a strategic failure in food and nutrition security, which explains why the World Bank and their employees that were in Dominica this year, as a matter of fact, is able to say that 21% of Dominican respondents are going a whole day without food.
8 more minutes.
8 more minutes? Okay, cool. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And rural poverty remains critical. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Tourism could have done better because they had money there and they left it on the table as well. Mr. Speaker, before I sit down, I want to talk about the Ministry of Education because I find it unfair that the Ministry of Finance and everybody who spoke before, including the Minister of Public Works, had nothing to say about the Dominica Grammar School. Mr. Speaker, last year we budgeted $5 million for the completion of the Dominica Grammar School. That it was going to be completed and school was going to be open. Right? In that same time, Mr. Speaker, the same period, we're recording an expenditure of $39 million in that 12 months. $39 million. The Ministry of Education was allocated $22 million. We spent $41 million. Out of the $41 million we spent in the Ministry of Education, $39 million went to the grammar school alone. In the same time when we're having a historic catastrophic failure on the construction project. How is that possible, Mr. Speaker? How do you explain that? And nobody wants to talk about it, take accountability for it, and try to build trust in the people of Dominica. Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to move a motion to give Paris an additional 15 minutes for his presentation.
Senator Paris.
Senator Paris for an additional 15 minutes to do his presentation.
I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that Senator Paris will be given an additional 15 minutes. Those in favor? Aye. Those against?
Mr. Speaker, do that again.
Again, the motion has been moved for Senator Paris to be given an additional 15 minutes. Those in favor? Aye. Those against? So move another motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Senator the Honorable Delbert Paris be given an additional 7 minutes to complete.
Mr. Speaker.
It has been moved and seconded that the Honorable Senator Paris be given an additional 7 minutes. Those in favor? Those against? Senator Paris, you are given an additional 7 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, colleagues. Mr. Speaker, $39 million. We are experiencing catastrophic failure that we have never seen in Dominica's history before. We have never seen that type of catastrophic failure. And the reason I'm using catastrophic failure, it's an engineering term. My engineering colleague would know. He can verify. Catastrophic failure, it means everything failed one time. It didn't fall incrementally, it wasn't staged. Catastrophic failure. An incident that could have cost a lot of innocent lives, and we're not taking accountability for it and speaking about it, Mr. Speaker. In the same time, we're spending 8 times the amount of money that we budgeted for the exercise. How do we arrive at that, Mr. Speaker? And how do we take accountability for that? Mr. Speaker, where is the Much talked about structural report that was supposed to be done. Is it finished? Is it ongoing? What is the status of the structural report that the government commissioned to see what happened there? We anticipate the public presentation of that report because, Mr. Speaker, this is not a political issue, no. It's not a political issue, it's an issue of national importance. Why? Because all of our children go to those schools. The functions that we're going to have there, all of us going to go there. What steps are we taking to rebuild the confidence of our people? That when we go into those buildings, when they're finished, that we will be safe. It's not a political issue. It's a safety issue. It's an issue of national importance. How did this happen? Where's the report? Who is taking accountability for it? Was it a design failure? Or was it a construction and implementation? Mr. Speaker, what is the role of the physical planning division in all of this? I haven't heard from them. We're not hearing them saying anything. Because they must be involved. And that is their job. What is their role? People's lives are at stake. And Mr. Speaker, another reason why this is an issue of national importance is because the same developer and his team is the one responsible for the execution and the implementation of the international airport. What assurances has the developer given us that similar catastrophic failure will not happen at the international airport? Because it won't just be Dominicans there. It's serious issues. It's not a joke. And here's the point, that the contractor didn't have a shortage of money. $5 million was allocated and he got 39 million. Last year, the forward projections for the completion of the grammar school was 76 million. We're at $113 million now, and it's not finished. In the same year, we are having catastrophic failure that we cannot explain. And everybody's hush-hush about it, as if people couldn't die. We need some answers, Mr. Speaker. I think the people of Dominica deserve it. Under the Ministry of Health, Mr. Speaker, not much, well, I don't have much time. But another area where we have money allocated, and somebody is creating a bottleneck. The money is not being allowed to be spent. $7.5 million, only 1.9 spent. And we have people complaining about the state of their health centers. We have people complaining about the state of the ambulance and fire service. We have people complaining about available medicines. We have people complaining about the heat in the hospitals, etc., etc., etc. Mr. Speaker, somebody is preventing the financial officers from spending the investment money in the Ministry of Health. And somebody has to answer. Mr. Speaker, I'm not going to stand here and say that the ministry didn't spend the money. No, man, somebody blocking it. Because we cannot have investment money. Mr. Speaker, a friend of mine rode in the ambulance. The same ambulance that's serving the airport, by the way, the airport in Melvin Hall. Well, I didn't call the airport name, and I say where it is. They don't have strap, it's hot, all manner of things. We get to the Margaret Hospital. Mr. Speaker, that is what we're comfortable with. We're comfortable promoting that. We're comfortable knowing that when our dignitaries and our VIPs and our family members travel through at Douglas Charles and they might have to go to the hospital or the health center, that is the kind of service that we are going to give them. That is the state of the ambulance that they're going to drive on. Now, Mr. Speaker, don't get me wrong, I understand that these things happen. What I'm saying is that it shouldn't be happening when we have money available for it. True. Because it's not like we don't know. We have money available for it. What is the state of the Margaret Hospital? We boast about world-class healthcare all the time, and we talk about the fact that we have built it and we have the structure there. But we keep embarrassing the healthcare workers because people show up there looking for medical service and they cannot get it. And the medical professionals that are there, their hands are tied because they just cannot give you what you're looking for. They're doing the best that they can, kudos to them. Those at the health center too. But their hands are tied. And their hands are tied while we have $7 million to spend and we're spending only 1.2. Mr. Speaker, we need to free up the bottleneck, man. Open up the service and let's take care of our people better than that. Mr. Speaker, another thing that I want to touch on under the Ministry of Health. Interestingly enough, we started talking about, or we had some deliberation about addressing the standard of, the cost of living. And what we have done is made it cheaper for people to access largely imported foods. But Mr. Speaker, if you look at them, and I know you're a man that does eat healthy, you don't really, if you look at those foods that are being imported, they are not the foods that are going to help us to battle the CNCDs that we're struggling with. We got some stats earlier this week. Last week, we got some stats. Who's struggling with sugar, who's struggling with pressure, who have cancer, and it's in the thousands, double digits. But we're making it cheaper for them to access foods that are not going to help them. At the same time, Mr. Speaker, we're in a stage where we're seeing massive under-implementation in the Ministry of Agriculture. The same ministry that is supposed to help us to provide and make available more organic, locally grown foods. Mr. Speaker, what it appears is that we are making imported, highly processed foods more accessible and available than we are spending time investing in making locally grown organic foods available to our people. And if we say we want to fight NCDs, the problem that we have with chronic non-communicable diseases, if we say we want to fight it, we have to make locally grown, more organic food more readily available to our people. That is how we're going to start. And where we're going to start to do that, Mr. Speaker, the $34 million that we didn't spend in the Ministry of Agriculture, spend it and allow the farmers to get back to their farms and provide locally grown organic food more for our people at a cheaper rate, so that we can actually fight the scourge of chronic non-communicable diseases. Mr. Speaker, our favorite topic, you and I, the Citizenship by Investment Program. Let's talk about it for a little bit. My time almost up. No, I don't have time. You want to give me some more time? Move some more time and I'll talk about geothermal. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of the Citizenship by Investment Program, all of us agree that we must protect the Citizenship by Investment Program. We have a little narrative going on in the House that every time somebody talks about the CBI, we think that it's an attack. No. It is a responsibility, Mr. Speaker. If we want to protect something, we have to be accountable. And when we look at these estimates, Mr. Speaker, you have yours. When the camera turns on, you show it to them. When we look at these things, Mr. Speaker, and we go through it here, the inconsistencies that we continue to see continues to raise questions about our prudence and our management and our transparency. I'll give you an example. Let's look at the last fiscal year. Not this one just passed, 23-24. We had a projection where we were going to have receipts from the certificate of naturalizations of $6.9 million. All right? If you want the exact figure, Mr. Speaker, I see you writing it down. It was $6,966,225. And we projected to have CBI earnings in that same year, we're talking about projections now, Mr. Speaker, of $617 million, 129,121. But, Mr. Speaker, what we have now, and because of the estimates, we have the beauty of the actuals, right? Revenue side, actuals. We go here and we see now that actually, for 2023-2024, we only received receipts from certificate of naturalizations of 4,292,706. certificate of naturalization. And I'll explain to you why I'm using the certificate of naturalization in a while. And actual CBI revenues was 622,111,570. Mr. Speaker, you're right in, so you recognize the difference that we're having here. We're saying that we receive less certificates and we increase the money. Now, Mr. Speaker, well, I'm asking you now and you have the benefit to present after me. Mr. Speaker, what this is showing and why I'm using the certificate of naturalization is because it is directly proportional to, no, the fees didn't change yet. No, not yet. 23-24, we're talking about, not 24-25. Mr. Speaker, the reason I'm using the certificate of naturalization is because it is directly proportional to the revenue that we get. Why, Mr. Speaker? Because every citizen that receives naturalization has to pay a fee for it. So using that, we can actually find out how many citizens receive naturalization. That shows that we had a...
Mr. Speaker, I want to rise on a point of clarification.
No, you can't. Your point of order.
A point of order.
He's on his feet. So you cannot rise on a point of clarification. It's a point of order.
On a point of order, Mr. Speaker, to just put some clarity in terms of the way the certificate of naturalization.
No, you can't do that.
Why?
You can't. He's on his feet. You have to be in a point of order. So if he's saying something wrong, you have to say that he's incorrect and you want to correct it.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I want to correct him.
But what?
Yes, under imputing an improper motive with respect to the revenues that have been earned, linking it to the number of certificate of naturalization being received. Mr. Speaker, we know, for example, that he's referring to the CBI program. Under the CBI program, you have individuals and then you have packages. You have a family package. So it is not a direct link. You can have a family of 2, you can have a family of 8. And
Yeah,
right.
but there are many other members who will be presenting. They can actually counter his argument.
No, but we
because
don't
he's
want-
just looking at numbers, so you can't stand on a point of order or point of clarification on his
But it's
numbers.
misleading, Mr. Speaker, to make the public believe that there's a direct link between the number of
There
CONs
are
and the
other
revenue
honorable
generated.
members on the other side, on your side, who can actually, in their debate, point out where they think he's wrong and clarify to the public. But you cannot, in his intervention, without saying it's a point of order, you can do this. So, Senator, proceed. You may take your seat.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to reclaim my time. How much time I have left, Mr. Speaker?
Minutes additional. Well,
Mr. Speaker, here's why there's a direct link between it, Mr. Speaker. Because it means that the more citizens we have, we should get more money. The less citizens we have, we would get less money. That's exactly how it works. Because, Mr. Speaker, if you do the math on it, and you divide the certificate of naturalization by the $670 fee that we're paying, we're showing that we have 4,000 less citizens, and we got $5 million more. So I would really love if somebody would do the numbers, do the math, and explain it for me, please, as we go. Mr. Speaker, in the last 2 minutes, the garbage collection has been a problem for a long time. Under the Ministry of Environment, Rural Modernization, and Kalinago Upliftment, I see we had some expenditure, some over expenditure, much of it spent on the NEP, good job. But, Mr. Speaker, here's where I have the problem. We have been dealing with this garbage thing for a while. And yes, I know we have 6 trucks coming, allegedly. But, Mr. Speaker, what are we doing with the environmental surcharge that we have been charged for? Here, in the estimates again, Mr. Speaker, for the last 2 years...
One more minute.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. For the last 2 years, we have received over $22 million in environmental surcharge, and we haven't bought a truck yet. And if we're doing the maintenance on those equipment, we will know that they're going to fall apart, and we will know that they would need replacement. Also, Mr. Speaker, the landfill was created in 2005 with a 15-year stamp on it. We know that it was going to only last for 15 years. We have been living on 5 years of borrowed time, and we haven't moved yet. I think we owe the people of the surrounding community an apology, and we have to give them something for their pain and suffering because they have suffered for too long. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, let us stop accepting public relations victories in place of measurable progress. We cannot applaud routine housekeeping as if it was visionary innovation. Let us, in the spirit of genuine accountability, turn the page from storytelling to truth-telling, grounded in transparent data, prudent spending, and an honest appraisal of work still to be done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Before we proceed, let me just point out something so we can be clear. If a member is on his feet and he's saying something where he's imputing improper motive, we can stand on a point of order to point that out. In regards to standing order 41.5, and I'll read it, see if you don't have your standing order. It says, a member who has spoken on a question may, with the speaker's permission, again be heard to offer an explanation of some material part of his speech, which he claims has been misrepresented, but he shall not introduce new matter. So we kind of mixing that up with the point of clarification, but that specifically referred to if you were speaking and somebody is now talking and saying you said something that is incorrect that you didn't say. So actually there's no point of clarification per se in the standing orders, except that especially on a substantive matter, if someone is saying something wrong, the actual minister can, if you say, for example, that 500,000 was spent on, let's say, in housing, and the minister knows that is incorrect, the minister could now get the opportunity to stand to actually correct that error. But not we can't do it how the honorable member is trying to do it. So let's proceed. Next. Yes, Honorable George, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's always a pleasure to stand in this honorable house and give my contribution in defense of what I consider an extraordinary budget presented by the Minister of Finance last week. And I want to commend him for his excellent presentation. I also want to commend all the public officers, senior public officers who played the role in ensuring that this bill is presented in this honorable house. Mr. Speaker, I believe that we have a duty to work on behalf of people in this country. And I think we, on this side of this house, take our responsibility very seriously, Mr. Speaker. And that is why we have been in government for so long, Mr. Speaker, because the people understand that we have their back and they understand that we will fight for them and be in their corner, Mr. Speaker. And of course, our leadership, our visionary leader, Honorable Prime Minister, has been at the forefront of our efforts in ensuring that we can continue to serve the people of Dominica. But Mr. Speaker, I want to start by saying first and foremost that the presentation by Senator Paris, it was a misrepresentation of the facts when it comes to the opportunities for young persons in this country, Mr. Speaker. And just to say that when we're talking about a budget, Mr. Speaker, we are not talking about money that's on the table. And many times I heard you mention that there's money on the table. That is not what a budget is, Mr. Speaker. There's no money on the table. As a matter of fact, a budget is made up of revenue projections, and it's a plan of what you intend to spend in the next 12 months, Mr. Speaker. There's no money on the table, as indicated by Senator Paris, Mr. Speaker. And of course, obviously sometimes you will fall short of your spending, but that doesn't imply that you're not making progress, Mr. Speaker. And I think I need to clarify that. And just to say further, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, he mentioned about youth, and implementation rate. He would know that measures that benefit young people are not just restricted to the ministry responsible for youth. Exactly. We have measures under the Ministry of Agriculture. We have measures under the digital economy. $75 billion giving grants to young people, Mr. Speaker. That is not under the Ministry of Youth, but it impacts the young people of Dominica, Mr. Speaker. So I don't think that just watching one narrow ministry, Mr. Speaker, and saying that we are leaving money on the table and all these accusations, it's not a fair representation of the facts in this honorable house, Mr. Speaker. And I always know if your foundation of an argument is wrong, your entire argument is wrong. Right? So we should ask Senator Paris to withdraw his entire application. Withdraw, Mr. Speaker, because it's really disingenuous to this honorable house, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that he can do better in the future, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to mention, before I get into my presentation, that the National Lotteries Commission is mandated by law to support youth and sports and culture. And we use that facility to implement a number of key projects, Mr. Speaker. It may not necessarily be reflected in the budget, but we use that facility many times, especially for light teams and different initiatives that benefit young people, Mr. Speaker. So, and I heard him make a comment about some projects mysteriously implemented, but there's no expenditure. You can't say that, Mr. Speaker, in this house. You can't say that.
Senator Henderson, the minister, honorable minister, is on his feet. You can be speaking, you're distracted. So proceed, honorable minister. Your mic is off, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, Mr. Speaker, the budget we saw presented by the Minister of Finance last week, it speaks very boldly on a number of initiatives that benefit young people. Number of initiatives. And I want to take some time and just highlight some of these initiatives I believe that's important for young people to be aware of, Mr. Speaker. One of the key areas when it comes to youth engagement and empowerment is for sports, Mr. Speaker. And as you know, this government has been investing significant sums of money in promoting our athletes and supporting sports at the grassroots level. And if you recall, Mr. Speaker, the only time that sports was taken serious is when this government came into office, Mr. Speaker. Right. And a matter of fact, if you recall, Mr. Speaker, there was a time decades ago you could hardly find a facility to play sports in the rural communities. Benjamin's Park, for example, Mr. Speaker, it was a complete swamp before Labour, Mr. Speaker. And look at Benjamin's Park now, a first-class venue, Mr. Speaker, catering for football and cricket, and an indoor facility on the outskirts of the park. And we are making further developments to Benjamin's Park, Mr. Speaker. So under this government, we have seen a total transformation when it comes to sporting facilities. And we're doing this just to give young people an opportunity to play and nurture their skills so that they can get to the national setup and represent Dominica and make us proud, as FIA did, and as our cricketers did, and as a number of other athletes will do in the upcoming years, Mr. Speaker. And what I've always said is that when the athletes are young, at primary school, that is when you have to engage them. And that is why we have strengthened our program at the sports division, targeting the primary schools across Dominica, Mr. Speaker. We are spending a lot of money for the sports division, organizing a number of leagues in different sporting disciplines to ensure that we can have these youngsters in a proper setup and we can nurture their talent and get them to the national level, Mr. Speaker. And obviously, Mr. Speaker, as I always said, infrastructure is not all when it comes to sports. It's good, yes, it helps, but the mentality of the athletes is also important. So we continue to encourage our athletes to make the most of the facility, but at the same time, work on themselves personally to ensure that they can succeed when it comes to sports, Mr. Speaker. And we are also advancing courts, multi-purpose courts all across the island, Mr. Speaker. We are upgrading playing surfaces all across Dominica, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the member of Marigot mentioned indoor sports facilities, making a case for basketball specifically, Mr. Speaker. And all of us would know that we have already developed an indoor facility in Massap. We have an indoor facility in Portsmouth for cricket. But the problem we have in Dominica, Mr. Speaker, and I would say it, is that we have outdoor facilities, outdoor courts, but they are not taking advantage of. The young persons don't show up and play on these facilities. And if you're not playing sports on an outdoor facility, how do you justify building an indoor facility? And that is the problem we have in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. We need to get our young people to take more advantage of the investments done by government in sports. We know what sports can do, and of course, we have to ensure that they can take advantage of the sporting facilities. As I said, the facilities are not all, but they're important. So during the last financial year, Mr. Speaker, we implemented a number of upgrades to various community facilities. We installed high-quality lighting to 8 playing fields, the teaser grounds in Mahu, and I want to commend the Parrep, Mr. Speaker, for his wonderful T20 softball league, Mr. Speaker. I think that is one of the most popular leagues across Dominica when it comes to softball cricket. We also invested in lights at the Grand Four playing field, Mr. Speaker, the Soufriere playing field, as indicated by the Parrep, Mr. Speaker, the Anzime playing field, the Vekas playing field, the Center playing field in Grand Bay, Granville playing field, and of course the Belvishope playing field. And this alone, Mr. Speaker, costed government $1.8 million, Mr. Speaker. On average, to light up a playing field, it costs in the region of 190 to 220,000 EC dollars, Mr. Speaker, based on the location. Yeah. And of course, this project might seem simple, Mr. Speaker. This project might seem simple, Mr. Speaker, but the works included the construction of the concrete bases, trenching to allow for running the cables underground. That's important because it's consistent with our agenda to build resilience. We erected 45-foot metal poles on the concrete bases, and of course we installed the LED lights to the individual poles, Mr. Speaker. And additional to that, Mr. Speaker, the year before, government did upgrades at the Lapland playing field, at Lindo Park, at Newton, Honorable Parrep, and of course at the Woodford playing field, Mr. Speaker. And as I mentioned, the Woodford playing field, over $900,000 was spent at Woodford playing field to develop a pavilion, a complete resurfacing of the playing surface, and of course leveling and lighting, Mr. Speaker. And I accompanied the Parrep at that playing field a couple of weeks ago. We had a wonderful activity. A number of young persons come out and play, and they're asking, we should have that more often, Mr. Speaker. And I think this is what we want to see as a government, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the Londonderry playing field, another playing field in the Northeast, we did some upgrades to that playing field also. It was abandoned for a number of years. And as we speak, Mr. Speaker, there's a regional tournament taking place at Londonderry as we speak, Mr. Speaker, in tip-ball cricket, Mr. Speaker. St. Lucia is here playing against our national team, our national tip-ball cricket team, Mr. Speaker. So I'm very happy for this thing, Mr. Speaker. And of course, going forward, we have earmarked a few other community playing fields for further upgrades. The Jolly John playing field in the Kalinago territory, Mr. Speaker. That's where we normally have the KPL cricket competition, a very popular competition there, Mr. Speaker. The Lamoff playing field in the Cottage constituency, Point Michel playing field, Mr. Speaker. And of course, recently we started works on the Bells playing field, which we expect to complete very soon, Mr. Speaker. So the government is spending a lot of money on playing fields. And we are doing this again just to ensure our young athletes have an opportunity to play, Mr. Speaker. Yeah, and lose some weight. Anyways. Mr. Speaker, another important aspect of the ministry is the BNTF program, Mr. Speaker. And under that program, some of the projects are also targeting playing facilities, sporting playing facilities, Mr. Speaker. One such facility is the Daly's playing field, Mr. Speaker, a complete upgrade to the Daly's playing field, to include a pavilion, resurfacing the entire area, Mr. Speaker, and of course lighting, Mr. Speaker. That project is 90% complete as we speak, Mr. Speaker. Another project under that program, Mr. Speaker, is the Trafalgar, the upgrade of the Trafalgar basketball facility. As we know, Trafalgar is a community that's rich in basketball, Mr. Speaker, and they have a lot of wonderful players playing basketball in Trafalgar. And of course, we want to ensure that this facility is to a standard that can accommodate wonderful games. So we have done a media center for that facility. We have done covered stands for that facility. We have done male and female washrooms for that facility, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we're giving them a complete resurfacing of the basketball court and lighting, Mr. Speaker. So that again is wonderful news, Mr. Speaker. And just to say further, Mr. Speaker, under that same BNTF project, under the next cycle, cycle 11, Mr. Speaker, we have already received provisional approval for upgrades to the Castlebrooks playing field, Mr. Speaker. And you would have heard the senator making a case for Castlebrooks. He always makes a case for Castlebrooks and the Parrot. So we're gonna proceed for a total upgrade of the facility there. Again, leveling is very important in Castlebrooks because the field needs proper leveling, and I think that's one of the reasons why we did not proceed with the lighting project, because we wanted to ensure that there's a proper leveled surface before any infrastructure can be placed at Castlebrooks. So we are going ahead with this. And Mr. Speaker, I want to take the opportunity to really commend the manager, Mr. Carrot, of the BNTF office and his entire staff for their wonderful job. I think they're really pushing, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that we can continue to receive projects under the BNTF project. And of course, for our partners, the CDB and the government of Dominica when it comes to the financial aspect. Mr. Speaker, Kalibishi is another area where we intend to do some upgrades to the playing facility. As you know, the school is coming along very nicely. The Honorable Prime Minister made a visit to Kalibishi and they asked that a completely new playing field be constructed. So we taking it in phases. I think the first phase will be the construction of the retaining wall along the riverside to ensure that we can extend the playing field further inwards. We have already acquired the lands required there, thanks to the Minister of Housing and Lands. We have already acquired the lands needed to extend that playing field, and of course we engage the Chinese through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure that we can have this retaining wall constructed soonest, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the restoration of lights at the Windsor Park Stadium. This is a very important project. It's a national project. And as you may be aware, government has finalized an agreement for the National Lotteries Commission into an amount of $13.9 million to rehabilitate the lighting at the Windsor Park Stadium. So $13.9 million, Mr. Speaker, investing in sports at this time is something significant for sports, Mr. Speaker. And I can assure you that when this project is complete, we'll be in a position to host evening games. And further, my intention is to discuss the possibility of having a national franchise system where we can have games at the Windsor Park in the evening time, Mr. Speaker. I think that will augur well for development of cricket in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. So this project is ongoing, Mr. Speaker. The foundational works are being conducted as we speak. And just to say that the polls, the lighting polls we receive is top-notch, Mr. Speaker. We have consulted Cricket West Indies. A matter of fact, they were the ones who recommended the contractor we selected to undertake the works. This contractor is a high reputable contractor. He has done works, he has done lighting projects all across the world, including India, including St. Kitts, including Barbados, and we are confident that he can deliver. And of course, the poles will meet ICC specifications and ensure that they can build some resiliency in the poles. Because if you recall, after Hurricane Maria, 2 of the poles were toppled over, Mr. Speaker. So we're trying to ensure that that doesn't repeat itself going forward to ensure that we can have a top-class facility, Mr. Speaker. And as we speak, we have already expended $1 million towards that project. And in these estimates, which we're trying to get approved today, we have an allocation of $11 million to complete this project, bringing it to a total of $13.9 million, Mr. Speaker. So it's something I'm very happy about, something that a lot of Dominicans were asking about, because we know that Dominicans love their cricket, and of course we want to see some exciting cricket at the Windsor Park Stadium, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the member for Marigot mentioned the National Sports Council. But just to tell him that, one, I believe that the National Sports Council has a very important role to play in our sports development. As you know, last year, the council was formulated with a number of experts, a number of guys with a large number of experience in different fields relating to sports in some way, and it's being chaired by Mr. Billy Doctrove. And just to say that we mandated the council in the initial stages to look at the Sports Act, the existing Sports Act, because we have a Sports Act in Dominica that was enacted in 1976, Mr. Speaker. That's what we have, 1976. And as you can imagine, there's so many advancements, Mr. Speaker, that have taken place in sports between that time to now that we cannot be governed by this outdated act anymore. So we have mandated that the council look at this act. We have provided them with legal support in terms of Mr. Laron from the National Security Ministry. And they have met on numerous occasions going through the act. There were disagreements, they were back and forth. They submitted a first draft, some of which we agreed upon, some of which we did not, we sent back. But finally, we have received a comprehensive list of recommendations from the council in terms of ways we can improve the act or empower the act to make it more fit for purpose, Mr. Speaker. And I can assure you that very soon we will take this new sports legislation to Cabinet first and then hopefully to Parliament, Mr. Speaker. I don't want us to underestimate the importance of that, because that's very important, because it's important to set the right environment for sports to thrive, Mr. Speaker. And without a proper legislation, that can't happen. So that's a very important milestone for us, and we continue to work with the Sports Council, Mr. Speaker. The council is alive and well, and of course, we expect to see bigger and greater things from them. And following from the enactment of the Sports Act, Mr. Speaker, their next mandate is to finalize a national sports policy for Dominica. We have a draft already, I must say, we have a draft. But they have to look at it and ensure that their respective disciplines are catered for in this policy. Issues such as time off for our national athletes, that have been a burning issue in Dominica for a number of years, Mr. Speaker. But then we have to ensure that we have a proper framework to know how do we go about implementing a policy on time off for athletes. So that policy will speak to that. Insurance for our athletes, sports broadcasting, a number of areas, Mr. Speaker, we intend to speak of in this national sports policy, which we expect the Sports Council to advance, Mr. Speaker. So it's something we're looking forward to going forward. Mr. Speaker, the government is not mandated to support any sporting association. As a matter of fact, all the sporting associations, they have constitutions, they have executives. Most of them are governed by the parent international body, Mr. Speaker. So the government is not mandated in any way to support an association financially and otherwise. But we understand that when our athletes go out to represent Dominica through an association and they succeed, at the end of the day, all of us are happy. It's a Dominica thing. All of us are happy, Mr. Speaker. So that is why, over the years, this Labour government have been providing support wherever we can to various associations to help them meet the cost, especially to send athletes out to study, Mr. Speaker, to compete, Mr. Speaker. That's something we have been doing. It cost us a lot of money, I must say, and we heard the Minister of Finance in his budget speech articulated that in the last financial year, we spent $1.1 million just to support athletes and associations, Mr. Speaker. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, Mr. Speaker, investing in our associations and our athletes. And that is excluding what we spend through sports division in the schools. That's our responsibility there. That's our primary responsibility. But we are going beyond that, Mr. Speaker, and supporting the associations and athletes in their ventures, Mr. Speaker. And what we have committed to do this year, going forward, Mr. Speaker, is to liaise with the associations to ensure that we can build national facilities that they can be in charge of, Mr. Speaker. You know, because most times the parent body associations, they have funding facilities available which the local associations can tap into. And then in that case, all that's expected from the local association and the government is to provide adequate land. For instance, the Athletics Association, Mr. Speaker, they have funding through World Athletics, where we can build a top quality track and field facility. And all that's expected from government is to identify suitable lands on which this facility can be built. And as you know, we have been progressing on this. A matter of fact, we started our discussions with World Athletics in 2022, Mr. Speaker. And there have been delays, I must confess, there have been some delays, especially in terms of communication. But as of now, Mr. Speaker, they have committed to work with Dominica and the association to build a track facility. We have identified lands at the Point Rong area, Mr. Speaker. Our next step is to engage a proper engineering firm to look at the site, advise us on the display plan, the engineering plans, to ensure the land is leveled, to develop bills of quantities so we can engage a contractor to ensure that we can prepare the site and present a proper site to World Athletics for just laying the track, Mr. Speaker. So we're making progress on this. I believe that a synthetic track for athletics is the only, or maybe one of the few, if not the only missing pieces for sports in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. And if we can achieve that, Mr. Speaker, I think we can say, yes, we have done well when it comes to sports development, Mr. Speaker. So we are progressing ahead with this. I want to commend the president of the Athletics Association for his tremendous leadership getting us to this phase, Mr. Speaker. But in the coming months, we will push forward to ensure that we can have a proper track for our athletes. And the vision which we have articulated publicly, Mr. Speaker, is that we want to be in a position to host Carifta in 2028. 2028, we want to be able to host Carifesta, Carifta Games. Carifesta's on my mind. So that's our time frame, Mr. Speaker, and of course, I think that, you know, all things equal, we can achieve that working in partnership with the World Athletics and the local board, Mr. Speaker. And if that wasn't enough, Mr. Speaker, what we have done in this fiscal period, Mr. Speaker, and as you know, before every budget presentation, the Ministry of Finance consult with different stakeholders. And this year, we consulted with all the associations, all the cultural groups, Mr. Speaker, some youth groups, Mr. Speaker, and what they have told us, they have made a strong plea for giving them a subvention so that they can meet some of the costs they incur on an annual basis, Mr. Speaker. So in this financial year, as outlined by our Minister of Finance, we will seek to provide subventions to many sporting associations, Mr. Speaker. And I think that is a wonderful thing for our sporting associations. Obviously, there will be guidelines in terms of how this subvention is administered. There will be responsibilities for the various associations. And of course, we want to ensure that they can have that pool of resources available to them to build the grassroots system and of course support the annual activities, Mr. Speaker. And just to say, Mr. Speaker, just to highlight some of the sporting achievements over the last year, obviously, last year started with a bang, Mr. Speaker, when Fia Lafo Godson instilled some pride in all Dominicans, winning the first gold medal in the women's triple jump, and government recognized her in a huge way. And I was very happy for this, Mr. Speaker, because not often you find small countries like Dominica recognizing the athletes in such a huge way. And I can go through the list of all the stuff that Fia was rewarded with, Mr. Speaker. And that has served as inspiration for many young track athletes across Dominica, Mr. Speaker. And there's heightened enthusiasm and interest in athletics because of your success, Mr. Speaker. And that's wonderful, Mr. Speaker. And just to say, at that same competition in Paris last year, we had another athlete from Portsmouth competing, Mr. Denick Luke. He was not able to succeed, Mr. Speaker. But what we have done in discussion with Mr. Doctrove, the DOC and the Athletics Association, we have said that he has the potential to medal gold in the next Olympics in 2028. He has the potential. So we commit to work with him. As a matter of fact, we have given him financial support to be in Jamaica as we speak at UE. So he's currently at the University of the West Indies. I was told that his coach is the coach that coached sprinter Usain Bolt. Same coach at Jamaica. I was advised that. So we expect him to be ready by next Olympics in 2028, Mr. Speaker. And I want to commend the Prime Minister for when we approached him, making a case for Denick Luke. He was like, yes, because he saw the vision and he knew the potential of this young man, Mr. Speaker. And of course, for the Ministry of Education, we provide support to him to meet his expenses while at UE in Barbados. And a number of other young athletes, some of us in Jamaica, likes of Addison James, Curl Etienne, a number of other young athletes which we continue to provide support for, Mr. Speaker, have them overseas. And while they're building on their skills and talent, they're also earning a degree, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy for this because I always advocate that our young people can do academics and sports at the same time, Mr. Speaker. So that is good. That is good for us, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we look forward to their successes and preparations. Mr. Speaker, just to highlight a few more athletes, Joshua Joseph was named captain of the Windward Islands under-15 cricket team. We had 6 Dominicans selected on the Windward Islands under-15 cricket team. Of course, Addison James, he won gold at the Carifta under-20 boys. Javelin, Cavem Hodge, Mr. Speaker, become the first Dominican to score a century in England, Mr. Speaker, since Irving Shillingford, Mr. Speaker. And as I mentioned previously, Mr. Speaker, I think that Dominicans should continue recording their dissatisfaction with the dropping of Cavem Hodge and Alip Afanas, Mr. Speaker. Because these are 2 talented young guys, Mr. Speaker, who deserve to be on the West Indies team, Mr. Speaker. And I continue to advocate to the West Indies Cricket Board that you have to be objective in your selection, Mr. Speaker. Objective, Mr. Speaker. The system we have is not working, Mr. Speaker. It's not working. Just last night, whitewash, Mr. Speaker, by Australia. The system is not working, Mr. Speaker. You cannot have a coach and a selector. Same person, Mr. Speaker. And guys who performed last year, guys who topped the charts in terms of runs, in the case of Cavem Hodge, he's dropped, Mr. Speaker. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? And we get some simple excuses and change of style and all these things, Mr. Speaker. So we in Dominica have to continue to record our dissatisfaction for this, Mr. Speaker. And it hurts. Yeah. It hurts, Mr. Speaker. I had a discussion with Alec at the stadium recently, Mr. Speaker. It hurts. You can see that. It hurts, Mr. Speaker. It hurts. So we should put the Western Spirit Board on notice, Mr. Speaker. Something has to be done. Something has to be done, Mr. Speaker. And I suspect something will be done very soon, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Arsenio Fountain was named the most valuable player of the Windward Islands Under-19 cricket tournament. We have Dominica won a silver medal at the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association Senior Men's Volleyball Tournament. You know, Mr. Bill Frederick and Melvin Mingo won gold at the Eastern Caribbean Volleyball Association Under-21 Beach Volleyball Competition, Mr. Speaker. And as you may know, Mr. Speaker, currently we have 62 Dominican athletes competing across 5 sporting disciplines at the Windward Island School Games in St. Vincent. As we speak, Mr. Speaker. And just, you know, just the airfare to get the students in St. Vincent alone costed us $164,000, Mr. Speaker. Just the airfare. That's investment in young athletes, Mr. Speaker. Students, Mr. Speaker. And just to say, a number of these athletes have already recorded gold medals, as you would know, member for Marigot. Gold medals. We have a long list of athletes who have already gotten gold medals at this competition, Mr. Speaker. And I want to take the opportunity to congratulate all of them and congratulate those that will get gold medals later on this week, Mr. Speaker. I congratulate them. And I had the opportunity to speak to them before we sent them to St. Vincent, the day before, Mr. Speaker. They're excited. They're excited, Mr. Speaker. And I can assure you, the future of sports in Dominica is in good hands, Mr. Speaker, in good hands. And we have to promote, member of Marigot, promote sports. Yeah. And Senator. And promotion doesn't have to be monetary. You know, sharing on social media, showing up to the games. That goes a long way. Show up to the games. Yes, we do all that. We do all that. We do all that and more. All that and more. Member for Marigot. But, Mr. Speaker, I think it's important also on the issue of sports that we strengthen our local leagues, Mr. Speaker. Because the local leagues, because that is where young guys play and get the opportunity to compete from an early age. Strengthen the local leagues. And I heard the comment from the member of Marigot about giving athletes subvention and stuff like that. I don't think that's the best approach. I think what we should consider in Dominica at this time is to try to introduce semi-professional leagues. Semi-professional leagues, Mr. Speaker. So guys can get paid stipends for playing, Mr. Speaker, because we won't be able to get professional leagues. But at least we can experiment with semi-professional leagues in the first instance, Mr. Speaker. And that will ensure that, one, the local league will be strengthened, and of course it doesn't exclude any athlete from getting some form of support. Because you don't want a case where you only provide support to those that have tremendous potential, and those that are there trying, they receive nothing. You have to ensure that everybody can get resources, and I think a semi-professional league is the way to go, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Finance mentioned the issue of non-traditional sports or alternative sports, and we have seen the recent bike festival, Mr. Speaker, a festival that government committed a lot of support towards, Mr. Speaker. Water sports, like kayaking, we can only focus on the basketball and the cricket and the football, Mr. Speaker. We have to introduce non-traditional sports, Mr. Speaker. And I think the member for Roseau Central has been playing her part in that. Non-traditional sports, you know? And that, I think that is the next big thing when it comes to sports in a small country, Mr. Speaker. So I'm confident that based on the measures outlined in this budget, Mr. Speaker, based on the current programs being implemented by the sports division and the associations, that we will see a number of other athletes coming through the ranks and making us proud, Mr. Speaker. And just to say that in sports, we have a real opportunity to succeed. And this government remain committed to sports. We remain committed to supporting grassroots movement, which is where you can get the real value from sports, Mr. Speaker. And of course, I just want to tell everyone listening to me that we have to play our part in whatever way we can to support our youngsters. That's the only way they're going to succeed, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Youth Division is also an integral part of the ministry. And the division is currently in a transition phase. Over the last fiscal year, the division was able to successfully deliver 230 leadership sessions and skill training courses that equipped young people with the soft skills and confidence to lead both at the school level and at the community level. Skill areas included, but not limited to, Photoshop, QuickBooks, digital electronics, and small engine repair. In the new fiscal year, Mr. Speaker, the division will seek to expand both technical and vocational offerings, Mr. Speaker. The division will renew its commitment to the community, and one of the things that the division is intended to spearhead is going all across Dominica and meeting young people where they are. In the first instance, we intend to meet all the NEP crews under the beautification aspect of the NEP, and just introduce them to areas such as budgeting, simple budgeting, areas dealing with healthy living and healthy eating and non-communicable diseases, Mr. Speaker. And I think that's important for us because many times the persons in the community don't get exposed to that sort of engagement, Mr. Speaker. And I believe the Youth Division is poised to go out there and make it happen. The truth is we were expected to start that some time ago. Overtook events. But in the coming fiscal year, Mr. Speaker, this is what we're going to focus on. And of course, we're going to be strengthening the pathways to certification and employability, Mr. Speaker, as it relates to national vocational qualifications, Mr. Speaker. And we're working with the Ministry of Education to ensure that becomes a reality. And of course, the 4-H movement continues to grow in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. We had a number of activities this year in various districts. We had different festivals. We have a national 4-H awards planned for later this year, where we will acknowledge and recognize all persons who played a role and contribution in ensuring that this movement grows, Mr. Speaker. And of course, the Youth Vice program is a program aired on DBS Radio every Saturday. We continue to give young people a voice so that they can contribute to national development, Mr. Speaker. On the division, this year we brought back the summer camp program, Mr. Speaker. That was absent for a number of years, and especially given our thrust to achieve education reform and changing the way in which we administer education, building soft skills and life skills in our young people, exposing them to sports and culture and history, we thought that the summer program would play a critical role in that. So I was really pleased for the effort of the division to bring back that program. It took a lot of resources and effort. We had camps at 19 communities at the same time, Mr. Speaker. But, we will learn from the experience and seek to strengthen it for next year. But I'm very happy, and I want to put on record our commendations to the Chief Youth Development Officer and all the youth officers, Mr. Speaker, who played a role in ensuring that this camp is returned in grand style. Mr. Speaker, the Youth Business Trust is also part of the ministry. I won't say much on that. I will leave it to Senator Roll. But I'm happy to see that we have a lot of funds allocated in this budget to be spent under the Youth DYBT, Mr. Speaker. We have 500,000 here. We heard about the $3.2 million that will be channeled through the DYBT to support entrepreneurs in terms of equipment and packaging and marketing, Mr. Speaker. So that is very good for our young entrepreneurs. And of course, Senator Roll will highlight a bit more of this. Mr. Speaker, I also want to say that when it comes to young people, job tenure is very important. So in the last fiscal year, we saw the appointment of 27 staff members from the ministry. 27. Sports division, youth division, 27, Mr. Speaker, got appointed. And I think that's a big thing, Mr. Speaker. They now have job security, and they are very happy and willing to go the extra mile, Mr. Speaker. So I'm very happy for this, and I really want to commend Minister Roberts and our PS Mr. Speaker, for the leadership in that regard, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned earlier, the opportunities for young people do not only reside in the Ministry of Youth. And when it comes to employment, Mr. Speaker, I am very optimistic for the number of opportunities our young people will get in the upcoming period, Mr. Speaker. We have the largest infrastructural project in our history being constructed in Wesley International Airport. And we heard the PAREP mention 60 young persons engaged on the airport, Mr. Speaker. We have the marina, which will transform the north part of the island, Mr. Speaker. Again, a lot of employment for our young people, Mr. Speaker. We have the digital economy, Mr. Speaker, providing grants to digital entrepreneurs, providing hubs so that young persons can get an opportunity to access the tools and services to develop themselves digitally, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy in this budget, Mr. Speaker, we heard of the introduction of what we call a Fab Lab, Mr. Speaker, which will grant access to students of the Dominica State College and give them an opportunity where they can develop apps. This is where the world is going, Mr. Speaker, and I'm happy that this government is seeing it fit to invest resources in line with where the world is going, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy for all our young people who will benefit from this. Mr. Speaker, I want to spend a few minutes just to touch on the CBI program, because I believe that the CBI is very important for small countries like Dominica. And I think that many persons take it for granted that we have such a program that can help us in many areas, Mr. Speaker. And this is one of the things I admire about our Prime Minister, the way in which he was able to use the CBI funds in a very prudent way to benefit average Dominicans, Mr. Speaker. And we see CBI being used in small business development. If you go across Dominica, Mr. Speaker, almost every small business you'll find receives some sort of assistance through government, and that was CBI, Mr. Speaker. And I think that the thriving private sector we have now in Dominica is as a result of the CBI, Mr. Speaker. Because without the CBI, we would have tremendous problems in this country. When you think of healthcare, and the hospital and the health and wellness centers which we constructed all across the island, Mr. Speaker, this came directly from funds from the CBI program. When you think of education, Mr. Speaker, hundreds of young people across Dominica now have a degree because of CBI funds, Mr. Speaker. And a lot of these people would not be able to gain that degree if it wasn't for support provided by the government, Mr. Speaker. And we know the benefit of education. And we know how important it is to improve our human resources and capacity in this country, Mr. Speaker. And all this is CBI that's doing this for us, Mr. Speaker. And then our productive sectors, tourism and agriculture, Mr. Speaker. CBI being used in this productive sector to ensure that we can have a multiplier effect years down the road, Mr. Speaker. And then sports in the facilities, extending playing fields, sending athletes out to compete, Mr. Speaker. I remember years ago, we established this sports trust fund, Mr. Speaker. And many of the athletes will receive funding from government. That's the fund we use to give these athletes the resources, sports trust fund. And this trust fund was directly from the CBI program. And then we have housing, Mr. Speaker, which is a big deal, housing. Especially given the fact that we live in a hurricane belt, where you need to have resilient housing and have a comfortable place to call home, Mr. Speaker. CBI making all this happen, and now we have the largest project we have in our history directly from the CBI program, Mr. Speaker. So I can't understand how a human being in this country, Mr. Speaker, will try their best to undermine the CBI program, not understanding the real impact it is having on everyday life of our citizens, Mr. Speaker. And we have to understand that the government has one main form of earning revenue, that is taxes. The government earns revenue through taxing people. That's the only way government earns money, taxing people. And CBI is what we call a non-tax form of revenue, meaning that you can raise money but not having to tax people, Mr. Speaker. So just imagine, after Hurricane Maria, when we had all this destruction and you had to find resources to rehabilitate. And then you ask yourself, how do I get the money? I need the money now. No, the international organization, it takes 6, 8 months, 10 months to get money, long process. How do you get money now? Am I going to tax people to get money, the people that are already struggling to survive, that don't have food to eat? CBI. So that is what CBI is doing for this country, Mr. Speaker. And we have to protect it. We can't try to mash up the whole thing, Mr. Speaker, trying to get into office. The Dominicans don't want to vote you, they're going to vote you. So mashing up the program is not going to help you. You might think it will help you. It's not about that. So, Mr. Speaker, I really had to get that off my chest. You know, the importance of CBI to small developing countries like Dominica, Mr. Speaker. It's going to be a real challenge without that program, Mr. Speaker. And those who want to mash it up, they have similar programs they set themselves, but they want to take ours from us. So we all have to play our part in protecting it, and of course, what's that? And of course, defending it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I must say something on agriculture because, as you know, I'm from an agriculture-based community, and I believe that agriculture remains the pillar of growth in our country, Mr. Speaker. And I'm very happy to see that this year, the budget articulated a number of important initiatives to advance agriculture, to build on our food security, and importantly, Mr. Speaker, to modernize the sector. I'm happy to see that we are modernizing the sector. Agriculture is something that we don't do it the same way we used to do it 20 years ago. We have new techniques, new methods, new ways of doing things, Mr. Speaker. And of course, I'm happy for the technical mission, the Chinese technical mission in 1 Mile, providing wonderful support to our farmers. We have seen the receipt of tools and equipment that will help us in terms of preparing our farms for planting, Mr. Speaker. This is good, Mr. Speaker. We've seen over the last year a number of agro-processors have received funding to help them improve on their business, Mr. Speaker. And I'm sure that this will continue under the Ministry of Agriculture. Agro-processing provides a really viable form of business in Dominica, Mr. Speaker. The fishing sector is very important. We give fishermen boats for free, Mr. Speaker, entire boat for free. And all you have to do is go out there and catch and earn a living, improve your living standard, Mr. Speaker. And of course, I was pretty happy for the measure in which we provide land to young people, Mr. Speaker. Because if you talk to young people, I don't know if you guys on the other side talk to young people, but if you talk to young people, Mr. Speaker, and you talk about agriculture, one of the things they would say, Mr. Minister, is that we don't have land. But the land they have not suitable. They want to do it, but they don't have the land. That's what they say, Mr. Speaker. And in this budget, Mr. Speaker...
10 more minutes.
That's fine. And in this budget, Mr. Speaker, we're seeing that the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture, is proposing to lease land, $1 per acre. A whole acre for $1. $1 free, same thing, Mr. Speaker. And we're doing this because we want to provide the opportunity for young people to get involved in agriculture. And I'm concerned that sometimes among young people, there's a small stigma when it comes to agriculture. We need to treat agriculture like a business. You know, have your proper recording and stuff and do your research and treat agriculture like a business. That's the only way you're going to succeed in agriculture. But we cannot say from this budget that government is not providing anything for agriculture. It's clear that the government is investing heavily. Paris. Yeah, Paris. Government is providing in agriculture for young people, Mr. Speaker. And of course, we want to see more young people, Mr. Speaker, get involved in agriculture. Tourism, Mr. Speaker, another engine of growth, Mr. Speaker. And the minister articulated that very well this morning, Mr. Speaker. And then it's important that we understand what has transpired in terms of advancing our tourism sector. Access, Mr. Speaker. This is the main access. And I recall the days when you couldn't land in Dominica after dark. You know, and then when you land, Mr. Speaker, your luggage is left behind. So sometimes you never get a luggage. Or you have to do island hopping, Mr. Speaker, before you get Dominica. All these inconveniences, Mr. Speaker. We have eradicated that, Mr. Speaker, consistently over the years with the extension of Douglas Childs. You know, I know we're on the verge of building our international airport, Mr. Speaker, and that will further transform tourism sector, Mr. Speaker. So I want to commend the Minister of Tourism and her staff for the excellent leadership in the ministry. And education, of course, Minister, Mr. Speaker, that's articulated in the budget, very important sector, Mr. Speaker. We are saying that we know that one of the main challenges is funding your education, Mr. Speaker. And we see that in this budget, we are providing a facility, Mr. Speaker, of $2 million where you can access cheap loans to pursue degrees in key sectors in renewable energy, in aviation, sectors that will benefit us in the long run, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, just to say that, to end, this budget is a futuristic budget, Mr. Speaker, a very transformational budget, Mr. Speaker. And I believe that with this budget, along with the leadership of our Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, we will see a lot of progress in the upcoming years, Mr. Speaker. And I ask that young people take advantage of the opportunities. Too many times, young people sit back and complain. They don't go to trainings, they don't fill the forms, they don't register for anything, they see the information, they don't share it, and then they say, oh, nothing's happening. We have to put ourselves up there because the opportunities are there. The opportunities are there, Mr. Speaker. But we have to take that first step. Go to the DYBT, apply, get information from your power rep, and of course, put yourself in a position to benefit from this transformational budget, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank my colleague Minister, Honorable Roberts, for support over the last year. The PS in our ministry, Mr. Additional Lecturer White for support. Of course, the staff, all the staff of the various departments in the ministry. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank them for their efforts, and we have to keep on pushing in the best interests of our countries. And of course, our partners, the Sports Council, the Windsor Park Stadium Board, the sporting organizations, the National Youth Council, JCI, all the media houses. I want to say thank you for them. To my cabinet and parliamentary colleagues, thank you for your support. And of course, to our leader, our visionary leader, Mr. Speaker, my power rep, aka the world boss, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank him for his support, and blessings and more blessings will come his way, Mr. Speaker, as we continue to deliver for the people of Dominica and, of course, most importantly, the people of the Vickers constituency, Mr. Speaker. So thank you very much for the opportunity, and I support this budget fully, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I stand to move that this House be suspended until Until 6 p.m. this evening.
Second. Okay. Before I proceed to just finalize this matter, let me just point out something. So when we come back, I just want to refresh members' mind on something, on a standing order before. 43, there is standing order 43, and that is further to my ruling earlier, but I wanted to just point out to members so we can just refresh our mind to the rules. 43 says that no member shall interrupt another member except A, by rising to a point of order when the member speaking shall resume his seat and the member interrupting shall simply direct the attention to the point which he desires to bring to the notice and submit to it to the speaker or the chair for the decision. So you see, so two members never have to be standing at the same time. So that is why when you stand, it always have to be on a point of order. So in this time order, there is no point of clarification. It's further say B, to elucidate some matter raised by that member in the course of his speech, if the member speaking is willing to give way and resume his seat, and the member wishing to interrupt is called by the speaker or the chair. Again, if the member have to give way, but the speaker can also ask the member to give way if you stand on a point of order. So the member doesn't really have a choice if you stand on a point of order, because the speaker have to rule. But the key point there is you must point out what is the point of order. You must. Yeah, you must have a point of order based on the rules. So I'm going to the rules, and I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to point out where they are. In 44, that's where you have most of the major rules that you can point to. So for example, you would have, for example, if a matter is sub judice, if somebody is imputing improper motive, if somebody disrespectful, you know, if you're using the president's name to strengthen your argument, etc., etc. But I just wanted to point that out. Okay, it has been raised and seconded that this house be suspended until 6 p.m. this afternoon. Those in favor? Those against? The ayes have it. House stands suspended until 6 p.m. this afternoon.